It's Finals Thursday time! What is up, one and all? And welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a fine Thursday, and hopefully we can make it just a little bit better. Or maybe a lot better. Because we got a fun one today. That's right. Bracket almost complete. We're going to be checking in on the B versus Lucifer games. And then immediately after that, we've got a grand final showdown up against the Spaniard stallion himself. It is, of course, Vortix, waiting there for an opponent. We're going to find out which one it's going to be. Draft is on your screens. And I am honestly not surprised. Like, knowing B, knowing the way he plays, I'm kind of like, this, I roll my eyes at the stage, like Japanese coming through, Shushi, Mongols, like, just from a drafting POV, Mongols or Japanese being in the first two picks tells you everything you need to know. You can tell it's B. Man, who's been playing Oblivion, by the way? I am very tempted, man. I am dangerously tempted. I probably shouldn't be this tempted, but I really am. Someone was like, I was in a chat just a moment ago, and someone was like, I was like, I'm excited for it. And they're like, if you played the original, don't be. I'm like, why? What? All I'm seeing is praise. Apparently there's even a part where, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but basically there's a read over. Oblivion, second line take. Or let me see if I can find it. It's so good. It's so good. So like basically, there's this classic do-over line. I don't know if you guys have seen it before. I absolutely love this. Here, I'll show it to you. One sec. Because we'll be hopping the game in a sec. So we have got that in the background. But yeah, so...
Acquired for an old beggar.
Heavy armor. Good day. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night.
So like, obviously that's a little bit of a blunder. And by the way, that this is what I kind of, to a degree, hate about like modern games. Modern games would edit that out, right? They'd patch that out because they'd be a bit embarrassed by it, whatever. Screw that. That is character right there. Like, that is the type of thing I wish games would keep in them when they make slip-ups like that. Elder Scrolls did. Like, of all the details I've been seeing on the remaster, small things like that alongside it, like the fact they kept the person making a complete blunder. Like, it is literally in the remake, and there's even better animations. There's even a moment where, on the new remastered version, I want to find the, let me see if I can find the remastered. Because in the remastered, it's so much better. Because, yeah, okay, here we go. So, there's eyes.
I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again.
Oh, wait, was it not? Oh, I swear I've seen a version of this. Maybe it was just like a gimmicky thing their head was doing, but they legitimately looked down. I don't know. Maybe there's like some weird animation interactions. But yeah, you can tell graphically like it's improved a lot. I was pretty blown away. But then again, like I think I was blown away less than most people were. Because something I realized is actually like if you're one of the people like me that played on the PS3 instead, the graphics are an improvement, but they're not as like day and night. They still are big, but they're not as big as if you played on Xbox, I noticed. Because I remember when I saw someone, they're like, wow, back in Tamriel, and they shoot the big capital city, I was like, I don't remember the capital city looking that crap. And it's because, like, I think PS3's version came out, like, was it 2 years later? So obviously they like, spruced it up a bit. But you know what, guys? Enough waffling. It's time to get on with the show. I know what you all came for. Wait, did something happen here? Did they randomly update capture age for no reason? Oh my god, they did. Why? What? They updated the minicam piece. What? All right, one sec, guys. That means I can do this now. Because we used to always have to increase the minimap size. Oh my god, actually, it's like so much more jarring than that. Oh, I actually hate you devs right now. Oh god. So we're going like, I guess we're quickly gonna do this. Sorry, this is the first I've actually seen of this. But basically, like, I haven't got a modified UI on hand straight away, so we have to... Oh my dear god. What? What's happening? The sizing on this is crazy. Rogan? One sec. Sorry, guys. We'll get it sorted. So let me just quickly pull that out. Mate, they so I don't know if anyone's checked that in Capture Age. I didn't know about that. So they changed it now so that like because in Capture Age you used to be stuck with a single size, but they decided to like shadow update it and not tell even the people who spend their entire like content creation arc casting. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, a little bit funky. Oh my dear God, this is even more chalk than it was. Why is the... Oh God. All right, there we go. All right, we're good now. So yeah, for those that don't know, this is how I get it to be the right size for the UI sleeve. Technically, ours is slightly bigger than the standard, even after this. Yeah, there we go, guys. Oh, look at the... KP does shapes. Wow, you guys never saw that coming. Shapes? I wouldn't trust this guy to find his way out of a cardboard box. All right, is that perfect, chat? I think so. I'm just gonna do like double take just to be safe. Yes, I think we are practically perfect. Can maybe slightly adjust. Oh my God, it won't let me slightly adjust the way I want to slightly adjust, and that's really tilting. Oh my God, it's making big jumps. Okay, there we go. I think we done it. We nailed it. Whew. Sorry about that, guys. Like, legitimately, it's because this is the first stream since the patch dropped, right? So, like, when I got online, I hadn't even looked at this yet. That was weird. But let's get away. Oh, yes, this is exactly what you've been waiting for. 1-0, we have got B up against Lucifer. This is going to be an epic one. Capture Age slightly updated. We even now know if people are an aim assist control player, apparently. Wait, what? But we are going to be checking in on semi-finals here for Midweek Muster number 21. Insane. Insane that we are 21 editions into this format. Crazy to think what the future holds. I'm definitely looking at ways that we can maybe evolve it instead of just having the same thing over and over and over again. But wait, did they add this as well? This was not there before. I'm pretty sure this was not there before. I've cast 1 or 2 Japanese games, and I don't remember ever seeing the Bannerman. Okay. So we've gone super sleek here. Guys, you can actually see which Bannerman people have and how many Bannerman total they can have. This was already here. We already knew about the bounty update, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese didn't have that originally. That's cool. All right, shout out to the devs for that. A little bit weird as well, because they also done this. We were a little bit slow starting because I had to do this. Because they altered the sizing. Oh my God, I just realized it's really off as well on the side. We'll fix that later. Oh my God, now that I've mentioned it, people are going to be like not able to unsee it. But I have a quick fix for that, don't worry. We'll sort it. So, let's talk about the matchup a little bit, because we've got Rus versus Japanese here. Japan? Wait, Rax Rush opening? Okay, yeah, but this is how I can tell Anatan and B still train together. This is very much like an Anatan thing from the other week, if you guys remember. We had it where it was against Mongols on Dry River. But B does it a lot as well, so this is really cool. Can make sense as well, because by going for the Spearman, you're able to then shove in and block the deer. And what's this Wooden Fortress? Honestly, I didn't want to draw too much attention to it. The Spearman was more interesting, but now that we've got time, thank you, Kiliadi. He wanted to really bring this up because he needs to get some vengeance on the man that slayed him. Because this is a very early Wooden Fortress. A very confusing Wooden Fortress, actually. Is it... No, he didn't scout the rack, so it's not because he was worried about getting rushed. You know what? Rather than focus on this, I got a better idea. We'll do this. We're going to fix our minimap now, in the middle of a YouTube video. That's how confusing this Wooden Fortress is to me, that I literally have to create something else to focus on. And I think you can all forgive me for that. Because it is quite weird what we're seeing here. So, let me just go ahead and skadoodle into this. Whoopsie. I can't believe I'm legitimately doing this at the moment just to avoid explaining the Wooden Fortress. It's not something I'm used to seeing players do, I'll give him that much. It's very odd. So, almost as odd as me doing this mid-game. But I can't get over it. And neither can you guys. You're going to be taught by it, I can tell. So yeah, for those who don't know, they changed capture age, but they also changed the minimap size. So we're doing some live production alterations because I can. Because it's my stream, darn it. And I'll do what I want. Alright. That upsets me a little, because I think we used to have the compass thing nicely slotted there. Now we can't. Huh. Oh my god, I just realized it's going to make me do this, isn't it? Oh, no. Look at that. People don't know what goes into a production chat until you show them. Oh my god, like, I don't know what's happened with this container. It's all the way off screen. But we've done it. Nailed it. Alright, so, I think I achieved my goal because you guys were so busy staring at the minimap, doing the weird things, you didn't actually notice how weird his wooden fortress was, did you? So, checkmate. And oh my dip! What just happened? Did anyone else just go blind? Oh my god, the timing on that was horrific. Why was that so bright? Why did we just get flashbanged? Wait, is that a thing now in capture age? Guys, you don't have to go to a Counter-Strike stream to get this experience. Y'all want to get flashbanged? I'm going to have to put epilepsy warnings on the videos if this is the new version. Is it because I was zoomed in? I don't think it was. By the way, like, this is what? He shoved the deer all the way over to the farmhouses instead of the TC. Wait, no, this is the second deer stack. Okay, no. Like, we were legitimately just in the weirdest position that we got it. Okay, so, by the way, while this has been happening, I decided I wanted to do this live, and I wanted to kind of keep this as a YouTube video, maybe to upload. Just because it shows you the behind the scenes. But while we've been distracted, getting flashbanged, because, little reminder, if you're here, if the landmark's at the bottom, apparently it does that. I've cast AoE for 4 years and never seen that before. What I don't see very often is this. B shoved both deer stacks against Roos. This is disgusting. Are you kidding me? There's like nothing the scouts can get here. So he shaved off 50% of the potential value for pro scouts. Man, B is a monster. B is actually not human. That is crazy. That is incredible, man. What crazy play. Thank God they don't do this at ELO range. Yeah, so... Okay, and that, by the way, is confirmation that I guess I'm at least diamond. I still remember, like, when we played Warman, and we were on the call with her, she's like, wow, you did stack better than, like, most people that I've seen. Or, like, did push. I was like, thank you. The one thing I can get right. Are you kidding me? So this game begins with Lucifer making a questionable wooden fortress, and it may end with him making a decisive wooden... What? What is happening in this game? We have anti-pro scouts by Deershove. We have wooden fortress rush from Roos. This is not a standard game of Age of Empires 4. What is going on? This is crazy, man. What a wild game, number one. I mean, it was already wild by the fact that B picked Japanese into Roos, so it looked like he was tossing away a pick, but no, with this strategy, not at all. By the way, guys, the reason why this is actually pretty strong for Japan, 75 wood savings means you're basically into your first spearman when other civs couldn't be. So you can shove your spears out by an extra 20 seconds or 15. It's 15 seconds to 20 seconds quicker, because obviously you have to gather the extra, to start shoving deer in. That is a huge advantage at the early point in the game where someone is going to be gathering sheep instead of laming deer. It's so big brain from B. Good guy Lucifer's like, hey, I want you to have a wooden fortress to protect your TC as well. He's got arrow slits on the way, so I mean, this isn't really that worth it. Yeah, great read by B. Okay, this one small trick completely alleviates the arrow slit's value. He's not going to get all the deer, guys, but he's going to get a decent chunk of it removed before he's harassed out of range of it. That's so smart. And of course, here's the other thing. Guys, you don't have to rush away. You could technically just shuffle villages. Look at the difference it made. So that's an extra 125 food he got. He's still being harassed here, but that deer's down to 82. And wait, what was that? Okay. Little interesting interaction you guys might notice there as we're getting another wooden fortress. If you garrison and then ungarrison before an arrow hit, it will track to where the villager now is, which is why that one got injured. But Flown Gaze on the way. We've got the second wooden fortress coming in. Pro Scouts is only now on the way, by the way. I'm flummoxed by this build. This is crazy. Lucifer plays like you back in the day? Yeah, but you play like Kazva then. Because the first documented record of this in high-level matchups, I still remember this day, was Kazva versus Recon on Mongolian Heights. An HRE Rus matchup. And that game was crazy, by the way. It wasn't just the Wooden Fortress, it was the Kremlin as well. Now, of course, you can't outpost back here. That's at least been blocked off. B has got the food and gold he needs, man. I just don't know what Lucifer's meant to do with this. I can't. This is ridiculous. So, he did actually deny some of these deer, by the way. There's 3 deer stacks. Actually, maybe 4. Oh, man. This one's actually a bit better than I was expecting. Does he reach? No, but this guy needs to start working. Bro. Like, for a start, pull the bandana from over your eyes so you can see what you're doing. And guys, I don't think he can hear us. Do I need to DMCA myself with one of those anime gachi tracks right now? He's actually doing the vibes. It looks even stupid. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I can't believe that. I think that guy actually got affected by the flashbang on the other side of the map. He's still recovering. In the meantime, Mad Samurai coming out. I don't know if Lucifer's gonna recover from this bruising. Wait, he doesn't even garrison in the Wooden Fortress. What? What? Okay, this is going from bad to worse quickly for Lucifer. He's an age behind. His opponent's about to have more knights than he has. Pro Scouts has got some runway at least. Golf clappers, but like one of them's gonna get blocked. And what is up, Aaron Paul? Thank you very much. Just in time for the dance squad. Appreciate the resub. It's Cave. I just want to really emphasize to people. This is a semi-finals. This isn't like a ladder game where you're having a meme-a-thon. This isn't us tuning into a Fae game where we're going to see like 200 Onimusha. No. This isn't like Don Artie pulling his villagers at the start of the game with short bows to rush you. This is a professional, officially endorsed Microsoft tournament, and it's semi-finals. And this. Absolutely insane. So Mount Samurai are now arriving. Lucifer needs more spears if he wants to feel safe here. Especially if they're just casually walking like that. What is going on? And what's going... Oh, no. Is he out of food? I mean, there's definitely some funky overgathering going on. So both of them just having their food workers clown a little. We have got a Eurishura drop in the TC, so B is going to look to escalate economy. This game is crazy. I mean, this is a refreshing way to start the day. Not this, like, normal build order sweaty crap. Just unhinged, unbridled weirdness. I love it. I mean, could Lucifer have just played into age 3? Surely you could just do, like, a mixture of knights plus horse archers? I think the deer shove sent him over the edge, though. B went up to 4th place on Tourney Elo by winning these midweeks. Also good for seeding. Exactly. And kind of proof that the system works. Like, I don't like people just shying away from the system. I've said this before. I actually kind of don't mind decay existing if you don't participate regularly. And that's not just because of my own tournament system. I think in general, like, you shouldn't be able to dodge out with the logic of I need to protect my tournament elo. Within reason. If you're, like, winning previous S-tier tournaments, you should keep a little bit of a buffer. You shouldn't just be able to sit there and dodge. Relics. I'm worried about the timing here for Lucy. We're already up to 10 Mount Samurai. This is going to be a giga high trade house, although he has eaten into its value somewhat. Problem right here is on a map like this, you're kind of riding blind also. He's only got 3 scouts, and those are prioritized on bringing deer back, which means vision-wise, you can see Lucifer on. I mean, he sees if the relics are home. He just doesn't see as much in the middle of the map right now. And oh, Mountain Samurai dive in. Big hit there. Claims a few villagers' lives. Lucifer now starting to fall behind. No textiles either. Remember, at this stage, the Mountain Samurai capable of a 2-hitter because he did get the level 1 blacksmith tech. Beautifully microed B, now with a 4 villager lead. And perfect time to play out into dangerous territories on the gold. And also berries here if he needs them. So one thing that is a bit concerning right now for B is, of course, the outposts. He's now dealing with that. He's taking the abandoned outposts. Because right now the risk is your players get blocked because they get seen early. This is the importance. This is why I actually really love the addition of abandoned outposts here on high view / pigeons view. It gives a dynamic element that matters a lot. It's very hard to rotate past these without claiming them. Well, lol, it's going to be a whiff. Will cost him another night, though. Okay, so actually, like, Lucifer, there's an opportunity to pick up probably 2 relics at this pacing. He still has other issues. He's definitely fallen behind. And B's going into Yuumi. He loves this build. I think this is probably B's most done build, Mount Samurai Yuumi comp. Definitely not the way it opened, though. But just a solid go-to for him, and it will be a decent solution to both the Spearmen and the Horse Archers. Mostly it's about the Spearmen. You want to remove them so you can just swarm. And remember, like Yuumi, they kind of seem like trash units until you remember that they get that bonus damage that makes them competitive. So the way I kind of view Yuumi is they are raiding infantry, but they are also a really good unit in their counter role. The other thing to keep in mind is they just got buffed. Yuumi buff is kind of a big deal here, folks. They used to be 65, now they're only 60 resources. That's a 10% discount. Flash coming in here. Do you like the new Spearman, by the way? I mean, it looks less Roos, and I want to say more Beowulf. It kind of looks hammery from the side, but yeah. I did notice this. A bunch of spears got different looking rolls, or different looking weapons, rather, now. They didn't really brag about that. I'm pretty sure that was only in the most recent update. I'm kind of surprised they didn't flex that a bit. They should be proud of it. Just like B should be proud of coming out ahead of Memology 101 here. Axes are not meant to be used like that. Yeah, they feel too short to be halberds, to be honest with you. Way too short. Like, that is not how you hold a halberd. A poleaxe? It's a very short poleaxe, I feel like. Poleaxes are usually held a little bit deeper, I think. It's almost like it's made a cheap steel and they're worried that the end is going to fall off if they don't hold it close. I will say, yeah, actually, it's a fair point. I think they should be holding it deeper so that it just actually looks like they're a spearman. Because when I first saw these guys run the fight, I was like, wait, he doesn't have Kremlin. Oh, looks like you don't have a chokehold on that food anymore. Perfect time for B as well to re-access the berries, but also the deer. He'll clear up for the other Woven Fortress as well. That's going to remove a lot of vision that Lucifer had. Don't know if he's going to see this coming, though. Ooh. Abandoned outpost comes in clutch there, but he is spotted. No way you get that relic home, surely. Yeah, he actually just drops and runs. I kind of respect that. It wouldn't have been worth the wall attempt. Meanwhile, Horse Archer's great hit there. Lucifer sneaks in the back at the perfect moment. Reinforcements are now rallying back to protect. B has a little bit of a sticky predicament here. Horse Archers is all about raid, and disrupt. So what B really needs to do is find an all-in timing to draw the attention back towards Lucifer's economy. Everly's got an outpost up here to protect. Mount Samurai chasing as well. Lucy, bring back his second relic. High trade house, by the way, was 187 gold. Rolling in the doula. God, I hope people actually don't just leave the video because of the live minimap adjustment now that I think about it. Like, this has been kind of a wild game. We're only 18 minutes in, but wacky definitely is the appropriate word for this one. And now a hit into the high trade house location, a dive past Mass Yumi, no answer, no way out. Lucifer calls GG. The wacky wooden fortress opening could not overcome the craftiness of B. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's such a cool game, number one. What would we call it? Tries to reclaiming your deer from the enemy TC. I don't know. I don't know. I need to think on that one. So, G2, we're going to Dry Arabia. And it's going to be House of Lancaster versus Malians. Ooh. Yeah, we've got like an upcoming video about Lancaster maybe being the new Zerg Civ. So this is pretty cool. Well, I don't know. This is quite exciting, actually. We have an upcoming video on the YouTube side, and it's probably live by the time this one goes up, about House of Lancaster being the new Malians, the new Zerg Civ. Well, this is going to be interesting because we've got this matchup, Malians versus House of Lancaster, and B, who is a Zerg pro from StarCraft 2, turned AoE 4 aficionado, is going to be on the Malians. Lucifer bringing new tricks with Lancaster. A Civ that I think many people are getting sick and tired of seeing, but a Civ that also did receive some appropriate nerfs. I believe they changed the cost of the archers, if I remember correctly, was one of the main things. But mana is still unchanged, and that worries me, because I think the manas are what allow House of Lancaster to Zerg. Oh no, I just realized the players were swapped. There we go. Wait, no? I don't have the option. All right. I used to have a key binding to swap players around when they're on the wrong side, because yellow-green, but I'll have to look into that after this game, because I removed the hotkey, because last update, they were always spawning the correct side for their names. So we got some improvements to capture age, like the fact that we can tell if our opponent is mouse and keyboard, or if they're aim assist, but also some things took a step back. Yo, you can even see the amount of pit mines and how many they've got. They really went all out, and I love this. Okay, this is what I was shocked wasn't there sooner. Capture Age now has mana count as well as Lord of Lancaster count. That's a cool adaptation. The Lord of Lancaster one's a bit meaningful, because obviously if you don't have the landmark, you can't have it. So, like, a little bit of feedback for devs. This probably should only show if you take the landmark. And what is up, Matt Trick? I love when people show that off. A resub coming in with their primes. Remember, guys, always use those subs here. We've got you covered if you love Age of Empires 4 content every single day. So, looks like we are getting Lancaster Castle. Lucifer is not going to do anything fashionably new. B, meanwhile, is going to be going for a standard Manticore as expected. How does he want to try to approach this? B, he's a big lover of Pro Scouts, more so than most players still. And this is a Civ that desires to do so. Thinking what B usually does with Malians, I wouldn't be surprised if we are looking at a Pro Scouts into Farimba build. I just realized actually we can hit the 2x speed just for a minute or two. And that's true. Lucifer is going to be a noob Lancaster. 0 Lords. That's ridiculous. What a noob. Okay, one sec. I'm going to get tilted by this because I know someone else is in chat as well. So there is... I can't remember if I had it as Control-Shift-T. There is a way of flipping the UI. Shift-Alt-F. That is so weird and arbitrary. Control-Shift-T makes more sense in my brain. There we go. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, and here we go. Boom! Correct sides. But now I need to flip the scores again. Goodness gracious. Okay, so Lancaster Castle into probably mana spam around the stone because that's your forward resource. Can he actually reach down to the gold? Not really. Oh, but that's interesting. Lucifer going for a super early backside wall. Huh. Like, this is insanely early. It's still KPMM 20 on the commands? Oh, my bad. Remind me after the game, and I'll try to get it done. I need to recruit some new mods. Twitch side, I think. Okay, so Stable's coming in. It is looking like the Pro Scouts build can be. So usually the way you kind of prioritize this, you don't necessarily need to rush onto the gold. You'll get a lot of passive gold gen. Basically get, well, with the pit mine, it ends up being 150 per minute. And then you flood scouts over to the enemy deer first, and you pull that back. No worries, scouts is on the way. Now, the reason why that's beneficial is getting those scouts out earlier. You might get an opportunity to poke raid at your opponent before he has the manas up. It's not going to really kill much, but it will at least slow him down. How does the Lancaster Men-at-Arms build look? Going Berkshire plus 6 keeps OP? In theory, very strong. But the problem is, like, I find... It's not that it's bad per se, it's just that you have other options that usually can feel a lot better at the moment. And that's a good option from Benny Boy. What is up, Dimmu? Thank you very much for the raid. I noticed you're playing a Lancaster game, so you had to come by for another Lancaster game. We got a fun one here, mate. I don't know if you enjoy this matchup personally, but I keep calling this the new Zerg versus the old Zerg at the moment. Although I think someone had a fair comment earlier about you have to learn a Zerg. Yeah, big difference between House of Lancaster and Zerg is the difficulty to play. Yeah. I mean, that always still comes down to a certain element of, like, what is your skill level, right? But I definitely think House of Lancaster is a bit too accessible at every level. It's not that they shouldn't be easily pick-upable. It's that they shouldn't be easily, I want to say, masterable to, like, the 80th, 90th percentile. Not to say there isn't a lot of extra skill compression past that point, but you feel like you can beat 80% of the player base if you just know the basics of House of Zerg. So, Pro Scouts, how far away? 45? Yeah, 45 seconds out. So he really wants to find a way of harassing, and that's what this wall's actually kind of worth it for Lucifer. It keeps him safe on the back. He snatches the deer. Oh, we've got 2 TC. Yeah, Lucifer. He likes this build, and that's kind of sick. Did you guys notice what he done here? He baited even me, and I had full vision. He only went for a single mana, and I think that was intentional so that B would see it. Because when you see 1 mana, you assume there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by the time he notices that there's a TC going up, theoretically it's too late. But I think this wall gave him away. Like, why would you wall like this for mana spam? And boom, B is in! Oh! Can you do enough damage, though? I think Lucifer just has to lose 1 or 2 villages and accept it. Gonna try to run away with them. He says fine, 1 kill is good. We'll snatch the goodies and leave. Formation shuffle, that was cheeky. It's not gonna be good enough though. He just about gets out of range. Beautifully done. So B can now go back in with the full HP scout and pull. Damn, that was sick. That was really, really well executed. So first kill on the board. B behind this, of course, is all on the Pro Scouts, but all in on food in general. We actually are not going to be seeing him doing a Farimba build. Seems as Fulani. What was B's streak of winning KPMMs? I believe he had 4 in a row, I want to say. Sorry, no, he had 3 in a row, and then Anatan snatched it away. So B, if he wins this week as well, it'll be back to a 3-win streak. But that would give him more wins than anyone else in the history of the Midweek Muster. So goodies on the way home. By the way, B hit the jackpot. Are you kidding me? Look. I mean, I know we don't have Marine Lords signing up to these weeklies, but apparently he's here mind, body, and spirit in a different way. Good lord. That is delicious. Also, remember, tree line wise, this is very defendable as a base setup. I think B, you know, the only weakness is the north side. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, actually. So 2 TC is meant to counter the Fulani rush, but honestly, with the way B's done this, I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, his ranch timings are looking really good here. His opponent only has, what, a 4-villager lead? Well, 6-villager lead because of the mana, I guess. I think for Lucifer, yeah, there we go. That's how he's going to make it a bit harder. Spamming the manas. Now, this does slow down your tech timing, of course, but the trade-off is you are reaching that idea of your 2 TC eclipse quicker, because each of these is worth like 2.5 to 3 villages. It's a lot. And the crazy thing, like, you have to keep in mind, the crazy thing is the scale point. If I build a TC, I can build 3 villages a minute. If I build a mana, I've built 3 villages worth in 45 seconds. But remember, I can build more than 1 mana at the same time. So you see how it gets really ridiculous on the way it scales your economy. Now, of course, you need the resources for that, sure, but remember, guys, you can build a TC, and the alternative is you could build 2 manas. And building 2 manas would be cheaper than building a second TC. And also, they don't cost anything else. Like, that's the thing that usually I think people overlook, is the idea of a TC here. It has upkeep. 150 a minute. While once you've built the mana, it doesn't require anything to keep it going. Just gives you goodies. Oh, the pit mine count? Yeah, that'll be Mansa for sure. Interesting. We have a marketplace coming from B. That should just be to re-macro. I don't think we have to panic and worry about trade here. As tempting as it might be. Okay, so game plan for Lucifer. I mean, you want castle fairly fast here. There's not really much of a play in feudal. He's built spears to try and intercept the pro scouts, but it's already feeling like it might be a bit late. You could probably stop maybe 2 deer returning. But that's still going to be 2.5 deer packs at least for B. And a Grand Fulani behind it. Damn, this is crazy timing. It's full ranch as well. The scouts will at least spot them and force a drop. Okay, so he intercepts 3 deer here. It's not a lot. Lucifer probably going to be looking at going up with the King's College. My worry is B is already ahead of you on his timing, so if you don't go for White Tower, you could easily get dove here. We already see the first sofa being prepped, actually. Yeah, archer ranges as well. Makes sense, he just saw Spearman, so you could just open with a few archers here. Not bad to do, guys. Remember, javelins feel better in feudal. Archers can feel really good for mullions and castle because of the poison arrow. And this front still feels really exposed back here as well, actually. And yeah, there it is. It is going to be greed. King's College is just way too good to resist. I think the first week of Lancaster, a lot of people just thought White Tower was the way. They were maybe a little bit overly obsessed. And then people started trying King's College, and they realized just how good it was. It's a really, really powerful tool. It's the fact that it's a lot of layers to the cake, actually. So the 15% discount on its own makes it a worthwhile landmark. That's a discount on all technology researchers. But then in terms of unique techs, the Hobbler tech, the Knights getting heavy maces tech, if you're playing a water map, the Carrot tech, even things like the Elite Army Tactics, actually I forget what's, it's not Elite Army Tactics, that's EAT, the Military Tactics training, which gives 20% bonus damage. These all are very valuable. The only ones I think that aren't as great is Burgundian Imports and Wolf Trebuchet. But I think Burgundian Imports will eventually be figured out, because in the hyper late game, when you've got enough gold, you're literally just getting a discount on all your hand cannoneers. Once you build like 10 hand cannoneers, this tech pays for itself, because you'll save 60 resources per hand cannoneer. It's just I don't really see many builds that could make great use of Burgundian Imports in Castle Age, because the hand cannoneers are weaker, and then there's other issues to keep in mind, such as the fact that you just don't really have a bulky army to protect hand cannoneers. White Tower's only better if you plan to go for a very long game? I don't think so. I think White Tower is only good if you are threatened that you're going to die right now. There's no other reason to do White Tower, but you're about to die. Berkshire at least has the benefit of adding 2 extra levels into the House United. Which, actually, that's kind of funny. They've put Lord of Lancasters up here, but they didn't bother to put the castle count. The castle count would be more important, I think. Just probably not seen as frequent. But we do have the Yeoman now coming in. The Longbows of the Lancaster. More manas as well. Like, this is what I mean. He's just right now, in 45 seconds, adding in 9 extra villages to his economy. That's crazy. If you go Barchi, you will never get any additional Demi-Lancers. I think that's a balanced choice, though. You still get the Ulsguard. And Ulsguard's damage on the dagger attack does get increased as well by the House United. Relics as well now being picked up by B. Lucifer does already get one home early, so he is contesting this timing. And it's just crazy. Like, look at the escalation on both sides. Militarily, the quality is better for B for sure. We now have Ulsguard getting added in. Interesting. Okay, I feel like we don't actually see Ulsguard that often. I think they're a really cool unit, but like they might actually by far, now that I think about it, be the most clunky unit in the Lancaster arsenal. They might be like top 5 most clunky units in the game. The reason, guys, is the dagger throw. The dagger throw is in theory really cool, but being able to use it correctly gets odd. What you have to realize is these guys, they have a charge. Most infantry have charge. And because they have a charge, if you A-click and you're in charge range, they won't throw their dagger, they'll just start running faster at the enemy. So it kind of robs you of an attack quite often. But early on in the game in particular, I actually think that the daggers are really useful. I think what we'll find over time is these daggers will pivot back and forth between being useful, worthless, and useful. So like throwing dagger drills later on will make them pretty cool. Early on, the daggers are insane because it's going to be a 17 damage range shot at 6.5 tiles. Yes, these guys throw daggers hard and fast and far. And that means, for example, if you go for like a white tower rush timing, you can pretty much just stop people from walling. You can stop them from repairing. It's worse than Donzo in terms of mechanics. It's a quirky side element, though. Like, Donzo's identity is different. Like, Ulsguard, the other thing you have to keep in mind is like, you're not paying more than the standard minute arms for what you get. So, state of things as they stand. B, he has won the Relic Race. It's going to be 4-1. Synchronized to follow up. Oh, wow. Okay, so Lucifer is actually going Synchronized shot. Wait, but why? Against Mass so far, I guess he just needs the archers gone. If he gets a good punt there, it's worth it. But I think, like, I'd be more concerned about maybe considering military tactics training, just so that your spearman can potentially kill the Sofa. This is the thing, though. Military tactics training just feels... It's so hard to justify sometimes. Like, even discounted, it costs over 800 resources. Yeah, like, money shot is just cheaper, right? Yeah, like, I think for that reason, you always go that over the bonus damage on spears. In fairness, like, 20% of this stage isn't crazy. It's an extra, what, 5 damage you're paying 800 for? I don't know, I think military tactics, I said it's like a crazy hype ability, but I think it is actually reserved almost for Imperial Age. Maybe, okay, so what would be cool if there was, if there was 2 tiers here? So there was like one that is, I want to say 300 resources maximum and you get 10% more damage. And then a second one afterwards, you can only research an Imperial that's like 500. Or actually, like, maybe just let them have it here. I don't know. I think that this is a perfect example of a tech that could be tiered to make sense. KB has to call it money shot? Nah, it should be our Rain of Arrows, man. Any MMO RPGers, they know where I'm coming from. Have I got any Maple Story mains? Any Arrow Rain fans? No? Show my age, maybe? Volley? You can't call it volley. There's already a volley in the game. Actually, I think I made an argument that the perfect name for it is Reign of Heaven, because it just feels like you've been struck by the gods, you know? Yeah, Imperial already coming in from B. This is a bit dangerous. He didn't take the Zerg direction. Like we said before, like House of Lancaster seemed to be the better Zerging civ quite often. You could argue here, like B, in fairness, he could have matched the military count, but I don't think he would have won on quality, so I actually like his choice here. Yeah, especially with the upcoming details. Think about this, guys. If the sync shot's so important in these fights, what happens when you have Farima leadership to dodge? Much easier to just evade getting hit right in the face. Lucifer, does he suspect it at all? He has gone for the Levy Shire, so he is going to have the Yeoman coming, but... Oh, wow. He actually has perfect amount of room. Look at that! Oh, that's crazy. The perfect room to full cap. 200 population versus 131. Okay, this has to be over. Ain't no way. Maybe. This could be big. He has got precision training on the way, guys. So that can be +2 the archers. Demi Lance to spam. Oh, sink shot. Nice hit there. Gets rid of what? 8? 9, I think. So not too bad. He's going to force a retreat further here. B still waiting for the upgrades. Elite Tech is 30 seconds out. But Military Academy did just kick in. Can ramp up production. And the spear count is low right now for Lucifer. So this is actually kind of dangerous. If the Sofa timing is good, it's only 30 seconds away. 20 Elite Sofa could wipe this. Do these MOBA skills from my RTS? How about no? You play your game, I play mine, dog. We can all play it in the same game. So this is actually really good for Lucy. He's fighting in the trade point, so technically, like, melee can't overwhelm. The problem is, these Sofa already have so much armor, and they're about to get more. Upgrade is about to kick in. And boom. There you go. 8 ranged armor. Yeoman reduced down to 1 damage. It's 230 hits to kill a Sofa now. And this dive, I didn't really achieve anything. No, I can't believe this. Can you actually just remember for a second that Lucifer was very high on military, very high on economy, but in the meantime, in the back of his base, he started to get raided. And it hit him too hard. Man, that was crazy. I can't believe that. That dive done nothing. Mass Yeoman overrated? What? And yeah, he's been getting, like, raided in the base. Yeah, sorry, I should have highlighted that a bit more. We were distracted. I gotta stop taking my headset off. Yeah, he was getting raided on the back a lot. That was kind of a crazy game, though. I mean, I thought even with the raids, he was going to get a bit more done in that base. Yeah, legit. I keep doing this, and then I can't hear the... I don't know why, but recently I've been taking my headset off consistently. And I can't figure out why. I think maybe... So, like, I can hear my... So I have a setup so I can hear myself when I cast, so because it helps. But maybe it just sounds too muffled to me, and as a result... Okay, yeah, maybe I should turn myself up like that. Yeah, it doesn't change how you guys hear me, but I hear myself clearer, because it's almost like everything feels really muffled. Room's very yellow today. I think that's just the knock-on effect of me wearing yellow. It's like your brain is now just like, everything's yellow. You always hear yourself while you cast? Yes. So there's multiple layers to it. There is actually a handiness to it. Some people just can never get used to it. But, like, every broadcast that I've ever worked on, major broadcast, does it. Because the way it works is you share a feedback loop on the audio track with your co-caster. So within that loop, you're heard as well. More recent productions have been thoughtful and, like, they have ways for you to disable it. I just don't care to. I just say get used to it. Because it also just kind of lets you know how you're sounding to everyone else. So, like, if you're not speaking loud enough, you know that, you know? All right, this could be stacking up to be a very quick series. The other side of the bracket already fulfilled that. Vortix able to 3-0 Anatan and sweep through to the grand finals. And we run the risk of it happening again, only this time a CIS player knocking out a Spaniard. G3, Lucifer with the Byzantines, which have an abysmal win rate in tournament play at the moment. And B with the Knights Templar. Now, Knights Templar did receive a nerf. Byzantines did receive a buff. But guys, I'm telling you right now, this right here is most definitely a Knights Templar map. Dry River, because it has got fishing opportunities, is too damn good for this Civ. Yeah, like, if you're thinking Civs that actually dominate here on the Dry River, you're thinking Byzantines? No. But Knights Templar, yes. Delhi, yes. I think Shushi also work quite well. And Japanese. Abasa also slots in there quite nicely compared to normal Abasa performances. Yeah, this is tough, man. I think anytime you offer up water, I'm going to have to lean Knights Templar, even if it isn't aggressive boats. Just fishing alone is good enough. Not found the new icons near players' names? Wait, you mean the ones that let you know if they're aim assist or not? I don't know. I feel like that's a small detail. I've said before, like, I kind of wish that there was a way of removing this entirely. The one... Are we back? Okay, I'm getting more concerned about what actually is the problem causing this audio issue. Occasionally our mic cuts out. I think it might be something actually with the XLR cable for the microphone, considering I just unplugged, replugged it. I don't know. I mean, sure, SM7DBs don't usually have these kind of problems, so I don't know why it'd be happening. But what is happening is fish. And Lucifer has no direct contest. The other thing to keep in mind is with the new build that Byzantines do, because their first mercenary timing is worse than it used to be, technically they should be a bit weaker countering fishing. Let's hope for a 0.62 nerf. 0.63 is still crazy. We'll see. Keep in mind, this is like a double nerf, though. Because Knights Templar, not only were they nerfed on wood, but because they're the one fishing, they were nerfed on fishing. Fishing went from, was it 0.65 to 0.6? So the boats are worse than they were. Reality check, though, is it's still an extra economy unit. And the importance of that cannot be overstated enough because of the interaction it has for KT in particular. Look at the eco. B is 3 ahead, which means he can now afford to lose 3 to go the next stage. That's why it's such a big deal. I think this is where Knights Templar was overlooked when it came to their design. I actually think Knights Templar is fairly well thought out as a civ from a design perspective. There's some things I changed, such as the Kingdom of France in general. I just don't think that the bonus should be there. It's way too good compared to the others. But the area where I don't think much thought was given was the interaction between fishing and the economy state and teching. The teching is meant to be a tempo controller factor for the strong elements of the civ. But whenever you add fishing in, it doesn't matter. Like, that balance choice you've made completely disappears. Okay, so Kingdom of France now going to be coming in. No real surprise there. I don't think I need to go over Kingdom of France again. Like, Kingdom of France, I think is the biggest shock for me. Like, everyone talks about Yeoman, Manners not getting more nerfs or whatever. The biggest shocker for me is that this is still this bonus. It's already by far the most popular civ bonus. Civ choice, rather. And it already still feels too good because of how good the Feudal Knights are. In fairness to the devs, I will defend them on this. They tried to buff other things. So Principality of Antioch got a damage increase. So the Axemen are a little bit better. But I don't think anything there is going to change until Axemen's animation gets improved. Let's see Genitor and H2 instead of 3. I think I mentioned this the other day, that in some ways with how bad they are, it makes sense. But the problem is, like, from a design perspective, it doesn't make sense. It's very hard to counter cav for most players in Feudal Age. So you want to now introduce a range cav? That's very bold of you. Not sure that's going to go over well with even high-ranking players. Because in the other game, you don't have many units to counterplay. So even if you had Genitors doing 2 base damage, it's still going to add up over time. Oh, did they actually nerf the production speed? Pog. Okay, good news. Fishing boats no longer spawn in 25 seconds. They did actually fix that. But the increased production still applies to other boats, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not? No, I think they actually... Yeah, they fixed it across the board. So shout out to the devs for that. You at least don't get faster producing boats now with Kingdom of France. Kingdom of France bonus is not that strong. It's a small bonus. Getting half the value of Military Academy is not small. At a point in the game where most civs struggle to scale, it's not small. If you want any proof of like how impactful this is, think about how frustrating Byzantines and Delhi have been to deal with historically. What do those two civs have in common? Ramped up production rates. I want to say almost it's like... Maybe the better way of going would have been if the melee damage, I don't know if this is the best way, but like something akin to that was on the Kingdom of France, and the discount and production rate was on the Axemen, maybe. Yeah, the other thing is that production rate matters a lot when you play Knights Templar, because a lot of the good kind of compositions I've been seeing develop in the last few weeks, in Castle at least, have been focused around Templar Brother spam. And you can't spam Templar Brother, really, in early Castle if you don't have Kingdom of France. So Silk Road's on the way. Lucifer, he knows he needs to address these pawns soon. Because this is escalating. His systems, trying to keep him competitive, but hard to remain competitive against double pawn plus pilgrims. What do you mean? Lucifer's got beautiful systems. They're leading him off the map to somewhere he can win. So Chevalier Corsair are already here. Problem now for Lucifer is he needs to get to the other side of the map, but also he needs to defend his base. So he needs a lot of spears. And you are also cognizant of the fact you're playing against one of the best archer civs in the game due to economy. So this is kind of worrisome. Berries on the east side probably not going to feel accessible. I feel like Lucifer is not going to have many javelins to play with here. Especially when he gets walled like that. First blood drawn, gets the kill. Shiv's out, but no Akrotoy. Wait, what? I don't know if that was a misclick. I think he just wanted to run back, didn't want to skip on gathering. He does have the olive oil for the additional mercs now. Yeah, so we should get the next javelin soon. This, by the way, is why civs like Delhi, Mongols, Knights Templar are really good on this map. It's the fact that you place your dock so far away that harassing it becomes incredibly difficult. If you're playing Dry River right now, I feel like you need a very solid raiding plan, or you're going to have to mirror docks. Because running this inventory across the map takes a hell of a long time. And look what happens on the alternative side. Knights are going to keep raiding, they're going to keep distracted. And an army this big is probably going to struggle to take down the docks quick enough before an archer ship comes out. Now, pilgrims will be an easy target. That's good news, actually, for Lucifer. They're a bit confused. Am I a fish or a pilgrim? He can switch to the east side if he wants to keep raiding. So it really comes down to whether Lucifer has force B to defend his economy now, or if he just wants to keep aggroing. I think Lucifer wants him to defend it, really. Because the good news for Lucy is obviously with the systems, he can at least try to scale to a competitive point. Did people go longbows? Occasionally. There is a really cool build where you go longbows, but it involves doing 1-1-1. You have to do longbow, horseman, spears. You don't really tend to do longbows unless you're doing ponies. And there's no reason to do horsemen in this matchup, necessarily. Like, in theory, you could because you're opponent archers, but because they open with Chevalier, you'd be very staggered and obvious. Because if I saw you do spearmen, and then I wait and I don't see javelins, then I know you're archer, right? Like, so I think then, like, what, Byzantines could probably just do B could just keep doing more Templar, more Chevalier. I just realized, oh my god, they're on the wrong side again. Sorry, I'm going to have to remember to do this. I'm going to rant in the devs' ears after this game. Okay, Lucifer's got a pretty sizable number of javelins right now. He knows he has to press. B's eco lead is escalating. Even with the system effects. And the problem is you're up against double Sanctuary. So double Pilgrim equal about 3 villages worth of gathering per minute. Archers are trading out against the Jabs, which is kind of wild. He's trying to set up the 3rd dock here. But Chevalier head on in. Matane, this is not enough spearmen. No, look at the Chevalier. The health bars get low, but they never die. I can't believe that. He just melted through him like a hot knife through butter. Which is ironic because B's the one yellow, but the yellow belly coward here is going to be the Byzantines. 3-0 victory. No mistakes made. Clean, easy, elegant execution from the 3D clan member. What? Okay, that is like... So that is probably the best I've seen Chevalier look in a straight-up A-click fight. The reason, by the way, is because he was shield walling, so he lost a lot of attack speed. I think without that detail in mind, those spears do better, but the problem is there's just so many archers still. That was crazy. What a crazy fight to brute force. Yeah, very quick set. Leads us into Grand Finale. What was I want to do? Oh, yeah, I want to rant at the dev. Yeah, one sec. I know there's a button to toggle, but whatever you guys done last time made it work by default. Yeah, they changed something with it because it used to always be the correct way around. But guys, let me see. We should have the draft kicking off in a moment here. So let me have a look. Yo, what's up, Wembley Hog? Look at that, 9-month streak. Legend, thank you very much for the sub. 12 months. What a Chad. Remember, guys, if you want to support the channel, subscribing does go a long way in our journey as a content creator. It makes it possible to do this day in, day out, 4 days a week, every week as we continue. Also, plus goal-wise, let's push for that. We're at 87 out of 100. If you are a unique subscriber, not gifted subscriber or whatever, that helps contribute to that number, and it means that we get more money and Bezos gets less, which is a win-win. Do you really want to give Bezos money? Really? Okay, so let's add in the players. We'll add in the map draft. BO7 format. And then let me just also add in the maps to make my life easier. So remember, this week we always start on Pigeon's View. I just realized it didn't fully reset when I reset. That's annoying. One sec. B, Vortix. So yeah, this week we always start on Pigeon's View. And then need to list the rest. We've got Carmel, which Carmel is apparently being very funky on certain biomes. It does not spawn any deer. So they need to keep each other honest in that and make sure that if they do want deer, then that one doesn't get selected. Gorge and Relic River. Honestly, I'm looking most forward to more Relic River. I really like Relic River. I did not agree to shave off my hair when I get 1,000 viewers. I'm shortchanging myself at that point. 5,000 viewers. There you go. There you go. Now it's a real long-term. Are these matches pre-recorded? Nope. Which is why you can now see there's a draft driver happening live. Oh my god, this is another reason I shouldn't take the headset off. Because I've been listening to myself and now I hear myself. Now I'm just tripping over my own words. It's weird, man. I might just start duct taping the headset to my head. Also, what the hell? We don't care about temperature. Well, we do. But what we really care about is... a pony? Okay, it's very slow to load today. Corsair, hello. Wakey, wakey. A pony. Jazz hands. Okay, just checking YouTube as well. Lancaster, could it be removed from the game for the next DLC? I'd play for that. Oh, no. Dude, like, Lancaster has cool things. I don't know, like... I wish people would stop acting like Lancaster doesn't have cool elements that are worth keeping. Yeah, it's got flaws. It's not like it's a complete failure of a Civ in terms of ideas, though. Ah, yes, thank you, Chum. I forgot to do that, didn't I? Oops. Okay, so draft-wise, we don't have a proper water map fully. Knights Templar are still good on this draft for 1 or 2 maps, so it's not crazy. What is crazy is the fact that Vortix begins his draft with Lancaster and ends it with Knights Templar. But just as crazy is actually the fact that Delhi is there at the end for B. Did have to ban it away. Mongols for neither player is no surprise to me. Both of them are prolific Mongol players. Vortix, because of the aggression, he loves to yield, but also, or wield rather, be very creative with his Mongol picks. It's not as much about the overwhelming aggression, but also the catch you off guard pivots he makes with his build orders. If Mana's had some interesting placement component, you find it cool. Agreed. I also just think in general, like if you minus Manas from the Civ and they had some other economy element, people would actually appreciate how kind of epic a lot of the things that are getting added to the game are. From the Hobilars being very unique horsemen to Yeoman's potential, even things like the Earl's Guard, and also Knights with heavy maces. Can you not pick the same Civ? No, mirrors cannot happen. That's the way that Age of Empires 4 competitive has functioned for a very long time. And it makes sense, really. I know some people would like the idea of mirrors because, wow, just imagine the true potency of showing that you are the best Delhi player, you're the best English player, etc. But the actual problem you run into is you have to keep in mind, to keep it fresh and adaptable, Age of Empires 4 offers generated maps. And generated maps means not everything is going to be necessarily balanced perfectly, but within reasonability. The actual exception to that is when you have mirrors. When you have a mirror, one player having slightly better spawn at the absolute highest level just ends the game. Because you're just knowingly going to be playing into the same composition, but worse, if that makes sense. So like if I have a really bad tree line, but you have a good tree line, and we're both rushing horse archers, who's more likely to lose villagers? Statistically, it's going to be the person with the worst tree line. Or if your deer packs are further away and you're playing a mirrored pro scouts build that can hit the exact same timing, well, now we know who's going to be behind. So like you might say, okay, but KP, you can do a different build. The problem is that it probably becomes predictable. So yeah, like we learned very quickly, very early on. It also just feels very boring to watch two people do the exact same thing for 10 minutes. It's not compelling. I think the biggest culprits was Abbasid mirrors. Like Abbasid mirrors were the biggest memes of all because you're like, oh wow, he's going 5 TC. And now in reaction, I think we're going to see Timmy go 60. And yep, now he's going to go 70. It's like, please stop. We need to stop building TCs. All right, we need to run a TC awareness campaign at this stage. This is TMI in the end. Yeah, too many. Actually, TMTC, too many TCs. Me and KP style out hair the same way, but his looks way better. Life isn't fair. Don't worry, we've got a sponsor coming that can help you with that. Yeah, I'm going to be organizing some show matches for Fridays. I don't think we'll be able to do it for this Friday, but we will be able to do it for... I think we'll aim to do the show matches for Friday the 2nd and probably Friday the 9th. Yeah. Or Friday the 16th. 5 ads back to back to back. If only there was something that existed that could allow you to avoid ads. But sadly, I can't think of anything that you could do on Twitch that would allow you to avoid ads. I don't know if anyone else has any ideas. There's probably something out there. Nah. Last dollars on this $5,000 game rig. Hey, you better use my links and give me a kickback. Wrong, Don. Wrong. Most ad blocks fail you these days. Subscribe. An anti-ad sub on Twitch. That's very smart. Yeah, like you can do one or two things. You can either subscribe to the channel, which definitely supports me directly, or you can get Turbo, which is like the price of subscribing to 2 people. Although people who Turbo like kind of miss out because they miss out on loads of epic emotes. So jokes on you for missing out on 36 emotes. All right. First game is getting ready, though. We're going to be heading across... Wow, that's me. Boink. 3 minutes until we're in. It's going to be Byzantines versus Rus for G1. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Byzantines on this map, actually. Rus is obvious. Byzantines, slightly less so. I guess it's because the berries can spawn close to your base. So I think a lot of people lean into that. Okay, I'm also going to start predictions now. 5 minutes on the timer. That's another reason to subscribe. Your turbo doesn't get you more bird feed for watching. All the benefits. Lancaster was major OP before they nerfed Dim Lancers. Yeah, but now that's been alleviated. I don't feel like with that change, I don't feel like they're that much of a problem anymore. Like, I think it's a bit more tame now. They definitely still have some overtuned areas, but like mana spam into Demi Lancers was the biggest concern. Turbo doesn't support the creator. Why would I get that? So Turbo does, but it doesn't really it's nowhere near as valuable as subscribing to a creator. So Turbo is cost efficient if you watch a lot of streams. But the way Turbo works is that they will basically spread the money out of the Turbo worth between the people you watch, is my understanding. So, like, it's definitely probably going to be worth less than if you subscribe to someone, unless you literally only watch their content. But then in that case, a sub is more cost efficient than a Turbo. Supports the same value as the ads. I think it's partially it's somewhere between the value of an ad and the value of subscribing to the streamer. So I think they allocate part of the Turbo money and spread it between all the streams you watch. But obviously you can imagine how diluted and little that comes compared to a sub. Not 100% sure on that, but that was my understanding. They may have changed it. It literally may just be that it's worth the same revenue as an ad. For reference, I can tell you that ads do not generate much money. Creators do it because it's a little bit extra, but also because they need to for discovery, etc. Because, like, for example, I can tell you guys that when we streamed last Thursday, and we had a really long stream, and we're talking like 9 hours and very high viewership, we generated $95 of ads, which sounds like a lot, but like by comparison, Tuesday, which was like 6 hours, averaging 400 plus people, was $46 of ads. It's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. Don't get me wrong, if you think it helps, but yeah. Like, most streamers will make the majority of their revenue through subs, probably. Actually, I don't know if that's true for me. Yo, what's up, Faplop? Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the gifted sub. Yeah, I don't know if it's true for me, because, like, it depends on the streamer for sure. Like, we've given examples of people who play Sims and they have like an average of 150 people watching, but they have 1,000 subs a month. Those are examples of people who will definitely be making vastly the majority of their money off of subs. Rev goes crazy? Sure, it's like exponential, but it's also just worse than YouTube, for sure, in terms of gen. One and all, it is time! That's right, we are back into the forest once again for a Roos versus Byzantine matchup between two absolute gigachads here in the Age of Empires 4 space. Grand finals time between B and Vortix. Vortix taking to the field with the Roos here in high view. Meanwhile, B, he's been looking sturdy, he's been looking reliable, and he's been looking trustworthy of the Byzantines, especially on this map. Who will take the early lead here? Well, B already looking to the early aggro with the opening Rax play for a D shove. And I see you there as Condotti. Thank you very much for the 5 gifters. You absolute legend. Appreciate the support, mate. We're just talking about ways people can support channel. I don't expect people to subscribe. I love that people do. It helps a lot. But genuinely, if you want to help for other ways, share the channel around is another thing I always say. Turning up, of course, the most obvious thing. But yes, plenty of things you can do if you want to support. And, well, what do you do against this man? I think Vortix knows. I'm sure Lucifer must have grasped on this. Oh, with the 5 gifters as well. Look at you guys want to be part of the grand finals. You always do. Thank you very much, Marv. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this is... Okay, so Vortix has told Lucifer. Guys, we began B's semi-finals up against Lucifer with a double D shove-in against Roos with Japanese that ruined the plan entirely. So this is Vortix making sure he doesn't fall victim to the same fate. Great micro. Knows he doesn't have to come back too soon because remember, you've got more than one scout. And also, just let me do this so we switch him around because he's on the wrong side. And now there's not really that much for you to shove back. Like oh my god, this feels horrible. He built 3 Limitane and there's only 4 deer left alive? 5. 5 deer. Oh dear. If he can get the kill on the scout, it'd be worthwhile, but I don't see that happening. Especially, oh, this is so painful. The sheep are body blocking him when he chases. Oh, that is so jarring. He couldn't actually reach the scout even if he tried to prioritize the charge. Like, these guys right here are Lord and Protector for the scout. Oy, oy, oy. So B's just behind now, guys. This is a bad start to the series for him. It's even worse. So when we saw this play done against Lucifer, it was with Japanese, and Japanese only pays 75 wood. For the Byzantines, you have to pay the full 150, and they have to pay 10 resources more for each spearman. It's really cost inefficient for Biz. So he's going to need to do something extra with this. The problem is, against Roos, there isn't really much you can do. You can still try to harass your opponent when he goes for deer with pro scouts, but it's not like, for example, you could turn this into an outpost rush on the gold, or something akin to that. He can at least do this, so I guess that's some consolation prize. It looks like Vortix got super greedy with his hunting cabin. Good reason. Generating 23 gold already. And can you still pro scouts? Yes. Certain civs are very much capable of still pro scouting. It's just not a all civ thing anymore. And that's good, because pro scouts got to the point where it was the full peer pressure, you know? Hey man, like, we're doing this, you gotta drink as well. Now it's not so much that way. There are alternative choices that can be made, which is good. So Ground Miner Golden Gate. Vortix. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually gonna fight this at all. He's got Winter Fortress coming up. He doesn't know about that though. Yeah, and he won't. By the time he realizes, it'll truly be up. He might even be able to protect the hunting cabin? Probably not. These two Limitane aren't in range of the outposts. B, did he get anything good about his spawn? Well, double berry on one side is really nice. It gives you a natural extension. Actually, all his berries are looking quite nice for extensions. Not too much Stealth Forest in the way either. Relic spawns are, as expected, balanced. I think Pigeon's View actually does a really good job of this. Maybe even better than standard High View, actually. The Stealth Forests around the abandoned outposts are a little bit wacky on this one, but I like it. Feels like you're actually getting a lot of value by capturing this, because there's a lot of ground that you'll see into that you otherwise wouldn't. Alright, Gambaholics, how did you do? 50-50. Wow. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not too surprised. Both these boys have proven themselves capable of these civs on this map. Well, what's up, Jim 2? Appreciate the 100 bits. Thank you very much. So what's the follow-up plan now for B? Because this is very different, actually. Yeah, he didn't go for the system build-up. Because he went for the Spearman, he doesn't have the amplified economy. Which hurts a lot. Is this just going to be like a classic all-in now? Because it kind of feels like B's plan is already off the reservation. It already got screwed over just by that detail around the Spearman opening. He's trying to make it better, but in the end, yeah, he does get a hunting cabin. At least that's a trade out. I'm sorry, are we helping? Or he pushes them into the Stealth Forest to kill them. Now, depending on whether Vortix is a high-fidelity gamer, this is going to make them very hard to see, guys. Because, funnily enough, like, low graphic settings, you can actually see the deer quite easily. But if you're on high graphic settings like us, I mean, how are you, like, ever seeing that at a quick glance? Did we skip Vortix versus Anno? Yes, we had to due to time constraints. Basically, the players all decided they wanted to play on Wednesday, literally the only day that I have off. And that's quite well known. So, it was unfortunate. There was really nothing I could do about it in the end. It's why I've been thinking about reformulating the design of the format. Part of me wants to explore like almost a double elim element towards the Final Four. But that would probably add in like 2 more rounds. But the thought process is like, you know, it's very tough to try and force someone to play their semifinals on Thursday. when someone else would play on a different day, because that's like an advantage. So you kind of need a system where they have to play before the grand finals because they lost or something. But obviously that adds in extra layers on an open scheduling format. It could be too problematic. It's tough. So Blacksmith coming in. B definitely has a tough time ahead of him. It's going to be Lombos. Not too surprising. Javelins just wouldn't hit the tempo he's looking for now, so he's playing defensive for Castle. Meanwhile, Vortix, I'm a little bit shocked by this. Was this in reaction to just expecting aggro? Because if so, B's not necessarily out of this. I quite like this idea of him skipping the age, especially now that Vortix is investing in it. Wow, he's even walling the backside. What's the solution of KT versus fast castle builds? Fast castle quicker. You do it in 45 seconds. Trust in the memes. I mean, that's like a very generic question. You need civs. You lose games because your graphics are too high? Exactly. This is the thing. I could easily be #1 on the ladder, but the problem is I really like pretty graphics, so there goes that plan. Remember when we had Sass here trying to like poke us to play regularly? And I was like, I don't like my current setup being, well, this is an old setup. I was like, I don't like it being 30 frames. He's like, 30 frames is playable. I do it all the time. I was like, really? No. No. Get out of here. Just because you're used to peasant frames doesn't mean all of us are going to tolerate that. Ugh. Oh, guys, could you imagine 30 frames gaming? I tried playing a PlayStation 2 game the other day and I felt it. Ooh. All right, get your numbers in, guys. We're going big. Vortix with a delicious high trade house. Is Don Artie, the man who has made no grand finals, asking me, the guy who has done many grand finals, if I know how to play games? That's outrageous. I mean, technically I was casting, but it still counts. All right, Bounty Tier 2 is going to be reached on your numbers, by the way. Make grand finals? Okay, sorry. In the last 3 years? When you coming back, Don? Donald, we need the strategies. Like, this was the pristine... Can we all agree this is the pristine time for Don to come back? New DLC. Wackiness to be discovered. Memeology. Wait, what grand finals have you made in the last 3 years? Don Artie, AoE 4. Oh, you counting Outback Octagon? Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah, we're talking 1v1s. Look at yours now. The beef tournament? I don't even know what that is. You got a semi. There you go. I mean, I'll be honest with you, mate. I wouldn't randomly go into people's Twitch chats and yell out loud that you got a semi. But you do you, bud. Meanwhile, Vortix is going to do the good life. Pro Scout's taking the goodies home. This was a cool wall by B, actually. It alleviated some of the grab, and now he has the outpost to stop the others. So it's kind of locked Pro Scout still. Checkouts complete on each side. Vortix is going to be leaning into the current comp. So that's going to be Horse plus Archer. Has full map control. I don't like this for B right now. He's just pinning his base with little to show for it. He's at least adding insistence finally. Up to level 2, soon to 3. But the problem here is, like, you know, high trade house at 214 gold plus 4 relics being very feasible. I don't know what B's win condition is in his mind right now, unless he's thinking, say, 2 TC. You're gonna one-trick Abba? That's so boring. Why not wait for the new variant Abba Civ? Kappa? So Vortix's win condition seems quite clear. He's looking to all-in castle. Boys Ford 2's going to go pretty strong around 20 horsemen. Relics means he doesn't necessarily have to rush that time though. Like, I think you could just play macro. And yeah, actually, I think that's what Vortix is doing. He just bought the stone. So 2 TC, mass relics, and you just wait. Because like, if you go into the late game, I mean, what are you really scared of here? You've got Boys Fortitude, Horseman, Biology. You've got Cheap Streltsy. You've got better Siege Crawl, in theory at least, because the Mangonels are cheap. But there is one danger in late game. Byzantines have Royal Cannons, and Royal Cannons are the best siege weapon in the game. They are the best siege sniping weapon. Very good cross applicability. They have the best bombard, basically. He's going for Cataphract, so I think this is just about raiding. It might be he's also paranoid that like this is going to be kind of blobbing into siege from Roos. So essentially, you have to be a Cataphract like a siege counter, actually. I think it's the best use. Because they can just jump over everything. Yeah, it's kind of funny how Trample works, just rolling you through a giant army. I think what would have been more realistically believable is if we added Australia to the game and they had Kangaroo Riders. Just jump over them. That's true, actually. Don needs to just organize his own tournament with the 50 APM challenge. He puts shot collar on all the players every time they go over 50 APM. Bzzz. Good reaction there by B. Doesn't lose a single villager. Still only 1 TC, mind you. Second one has been smuggled away. Vortix has done it in a way that will probably never be scouted. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Vortix, he's got nothing else for the pro scouts to pick up. So he's actually picking up the deer that keeps spawning on the high trade house. You don't really see that often. Most people just pull out, say, 4 to 5 villagers to gather the deer. Yeah, and after Don's comment there, just to clarify, you have to put the shot collar on your neck. On the neck. The piece above your chest and below your head. I know Don's probably going to require that guidance. We do have additional growth now coming in. So B, he's going to look to start scaling the economy that will allow him to pump late game. But not knowing that he's up against 2 TC worries me here, man. I don't know, this game has felt odd for B for the last 10 minutes. And we usually praise that oddness, but this is the type of situation where it just feels like the plan he had in mind did not come to fruition. And since then, he's been looking for a way to get back on course. This map's Roos favored? I mean, most maps feel Roos favored still to this day. When was the last season where Roos wasn't competitively viable? I'll wait. Was it season 3, maybe? I think there's maybe one season out of 10 where Roos wasn't competitively viable. And by viable, I mean strong. Yeah, and like, I guess we could have that discussion. Like, Don highlighting that qualifying doesn't get you anything. The reality check is, like, Age of Empires 4 is in a very delicate phase where there's not enough money to support more than, say, 6 to 8 players to financially explore it. But the complexity of the game means that being one of those players that can explore it gives you an insane competitive advantage over people who have to have a real job. He'd done the real job comment. So you have to look at prospects. And I think for some players, AoE4 had to take the back burner because obviously with esports being in the winter that never seems to end, it's not like there's millions of dollars on offer for your time. So, yeah. Think about it this way. If, you know, how many less people would try to be a full-time football player if instead of being able to earn millions per year, the maximum cap they could earn is like 100k a year. 100k sounds pretty good, but then you remember you're going to be breaking your body. There's a high percentage chance you don't succeed. Like, these are things that people always have to keep in mind, which is why I've also tried to encourage players time and time again to be content creators as well. It's funny, actually, because, like, B used to be, and then completely stopped. Oh, hello. We have got a dive on the other side of the base. Vortix using his numerical advantage against B here. And it is going to be leading to that dive towards the farms if B's not careful. Cataphracts are on the way home. This is a lot of horsemen, though. I think B wasn't maybe expecting this much cavalry. Like, how do you protect the Lombos now? Cataphracts to the dive in. Archers are going to get caught. Crossbows as well. Has to pull them back. Okay, so good start there, but we now have the Saints Blessing buffing up. Cat is getting caught. Vortix. Hold that fort. He continues to retreat for now. He's not completely aware of what he's up against here. This is dangerous, though. The horsemen are rallying to the east side. Can B hit a timing similar into the base? Can he actually find that hit that would put him in control? Or is he just going to be the one wearing the shot color? There we go. Horseman right in. Saints Blessing triggers again for that extra DPS. And that's 10 worker kills there. A 20 village lead now for Vortix that's going to force B to all in. I don't know if he has the time on his side, though. Horsemen are going to rally deeper. Raxes are trying to be prepped, but that's extra villagers ready for the taken. He goes straight for farms. It's going to be a full shutdown. I mean, sure, you can build these Raxes, but if you don't have any food income, what does it achieve? Well, Lombos, only a handful of Cataphracts with them. And plenty of economy for Vortix to start rallying with. I think he is starting to run out of food a little. Potentially a lot at this rate. I think he just pulled people back towards the deers. He might need to sneak onto the berries. We still have the Pro Scout taking the goodies home the entire time. But so far, this dive hasn't really done a lot for B. I think B needs to go deeper. The problem is he doesn't see what we see. He has no God vision. It's a stealth forest. He's probably freaking. I don't think he even saw the second TC. So he probably thinks that, you know, if he can actually take the relics away, it's good enough. But we see the truth of the matter. Vortix, he's bringing the horsemen home now. Cataphracts in the meantime are going to try to rinse through this with the crossbows. Clearing them up fast. It's about to be ponies versus Lombos, and I know who I'm backing in that fight. Never cross a guy with a horse. Especially if that horse stares you in the face. Here we go, B. Rohirrim Riders in. Okay, apparently we really want to kill the monk. Wait, wait, what? Please kill the Lombos. He needs them dead right now. Are you kidding me? No. Is he going to lose this game? Second wave's coming in. The Longbows lasted a lot longer than expected here. Now remember, Vortix has some serious food issues. He's ran out in the corner. He's not gathering these berries. The deer, he's been dragging them back towards the TC where it's not safe. B may have just found the perfect timing on what looked like an impossible game here. 25 villages down, but he doesn't care. Relic's now being picked up. TC's probably going to pry fire that. We'll be able to deny one of the monks. How many farms are we talking about? Probably only 8. Yeah, 7 farms total. Limitane now here. I mean, this is difficult to just camp the TC like this long term. The Longbows are starting to get targeted down. But I think B, has he got enough economy to keep this going? Olive Grove count is improving. A lot of them are actually not active due to the losses. The losses are kind of looking bad for Vortix as well. He barely has any military to stand on. Cataphract count is still looking decent as well. If he finds these villages, these farms, this could be it. This actually could be it. This is practically all of Vortix's food economy. It's got like, what, one other gathering batch somewhere? I think. Yeah, I don't even know where. Oh, wait, what? How is he getting away with those berries? Are you kidding me right now? He's got about 700 food left over there. So only 7 more horsemen. Is that going to be enough to pony up a win? They do get a good strike on the backline of Lombos. How many monks have died trying this now? He did at least get one of the relics away. B, oh my dear God. Tell me you're gold thirsty. 30 villages. And it's enough! I can't believe this! He actually cracks it! The balls of steel on this man. 20 villages down. It looked like a GG out. But B, out aggro's Vortix. Just think about that. The way he done this, to out aggro, the aggro master, when you're down and out like this, to get the first point on the board. This man's a monster. Dude, this guy. Okay, I'm just going to bluntly say what needs to be said. Midweek Masters, have reached the point where they're actually just consistently delivering each week some of the best freaking games we're seeing in AoE 4. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay. So, B with the win. What an incredible win as well. I mean, like, it felt over. When those horsemen were coming home, you're like, okay, this is going to wipe it. I think maybe, like, Vortix, in hindsight, looking back at that, probably thinks he should have just backed off a bit more. Because he was kind of forcing fights underneath the TC, but B wasn't going beyond the TC. It's like, still, it's a crazy situation to find yourself in. I can't fault B, man. That was crazy. That was incredible. Didn't feel over to me. I knew Vortix was in trouble. All right, Mr. Know-All. I think if he pulls the troops back, though, and it just stands on the TC in the monastery, he probably has a pretty good like counterattack timing there. It's just in that moment, you see you're being dove, and your brain is like, I need to fight now. So you put everything into that fight. So B with Sean, and we've got Lancaster coming out in G2. Thought too early his cap should have pulled back off the berry raid. I think the dive into the groves would have made sense if he split up a bit more, but he did seem to just kind of like A-click through, if that makes sense. Like, he hit the groves, and I think he killed maybe 3 extra villages. And lost, like, how many horses? I want to say it was like 8, 9, maybe more. It's quite a lot, actually. All right, predictions up. Oh my god, they are consistently spawning in on the opposite sides. It's tilting me, guys. It's actually tilting me. I'm going to have to flip UI every single game. I can feel it. All in all, we began this grand finals in a crazy way. Let the craziness continue. Lancaster, not banned. I can't believe it. Everyone's molding this Civ's OP. It needs to disappear, but no, it got let through. Look at the draft as well. Vortix got it straight away. He actually left Roos until second. That happened. Roos was just slain. Could Vortix's entire draft just be unraveled so simply? We're going to find out. Gorge for game number 2. B with Jean to try and solve the problem. Ooh, that's a good spawn for Pro Scouts too. Can you actually like PS against House of Lancaster though, without any other big eco upside is what I'm wondering. Because Jean has to be an all-in aggressive type Civ. I think like this matchup, you're probably looking to try and stop the manas going up. Which does kind of feed a little bit of XP in. You need to be really careful about the dive. But in theory, Knights plus Archers. Just kind of like what you'd see from, say, Knights Templar. Gorge a really good map for it as well because of the forward spawning nature of resources that matter, which is the gold and the stone. The problem is Vortix kind of hit a jackpot here. This is perfect. Lancaster Castle here lets you buff manas on the tree line, the gold, and the stone. What I think B would have preferred, would have been his dream spawn, is if Vortix got a gold spawn here and a stone over here. So if the berries and stones were switched, Vortix's game is... What's the word before? Excessively more difficult. Exponentially would have been the more pretty word. How did we do on the sheep rotation? 11 to 12. So, decent for B. Always a reminder that the Lancastrians get more sheep. They start with them underneath the TC. And there you go. Wow. What a landmark. Anyone else excited for how interesting House of Lancaster is going to be when like this landmark isn't the meta anymore? I think it's going to be quite a bit more interesting, actually. The funny thing is, I think the Lords of Lancaster are actually a lot stronger as well. like as the game goes on. The problem is, so early on, why Lancaster Castle is better is at this stage in the game, it's providing you so much defensive firepower for no cost. Pray every day for a JD rework? Well, that's already been confirmed. Winston talked about it. I talked with him about it. We didn't get details, but they are interested in reworking Jeanne d'Arc, probably for later this year, and making her feel unique, which is great. I think, I've talked about this before, like, Jeanne's design was fine, guys. Like, they done the correct thing. I actually praised them for this when they released Jeanne. Jeanne needed to be essentially French with some perks removed, because herself was so unique that if you had a completely different civ alongside it, you actually wouldn't know if you balanced Jeanne well at all, if that makes sense. She's a unique new detail to Age of Empires. So if they've made a completely unique civ and Jeanne, the experience would have been way too confusing for them to design and balance, but also for people to play and experience. So I think they've done right by this. School of Infantry. I think one thing I said I'd like to see for Jeanne is why not just take Feudal Knights out of her composition and add the Jeanne's Riders or a version of Jeanne's Riders. That would have been much cooler. And Manners, okay, I like this. So rookie arrow, some people will go for as they just think they want to protect the goal straight away. Your tree line is just as important here in a map like Gorge. So first mana is kind of like safe, is just set it up because you've got people here. Get the efficient gathering, and then you can set up second, third mana around this area to create a safety zone. But like having one or two of these on the tree line is very handy, just in case you get dove. And look at that. Pro Scouts, no surprise here, not with a discount. Jeanne about to get level 2. Against Lancaster, you're probably looking at range Jeanne. It depends if you're looking for like a dive or a harass approach. If you want to dive, melee Jeanne's going to be nice because your opponent is going to set up manas with speeds. But if you're looking to just poke down a few villages on the Golden Stone, range Jeanne can do that quite well against manas. This is one of those matchups actually where I think Lancaster struggles a bit on the gathering. Normally, the manas are just good enough to protect because your opponent has to dive, like French, for example, Knights. But Jeanne is not really diving, she's poking and killing. The reason that's important is if you have an outpost here instead of a mana, oh, I see you coming in, I'll hide in the outpost. Well, if you've got manas next to you and you see Jeanne walking in, it's too late. She's going to snipe you down because of her movement speed. Especially considering like a lot of Lancaster players seem to skimp on Wheelbarrow, which is what's happening. Any more First Knight's going to arrive. Just a little bit of posturing. B does know where all the deer are. Oh, pause that thought. One stack he doesn't know about. But 3 stacks is good enough if you can get it here. And we are going to get an immediate usage of mustering the nobles. Yep, timing's good for it though. It's going to come in 15 seconds. He's only got, what, 10 seconds left on the build? Or less, he's got 4 building it up. I feel bad for players when I watch them try to optimize mana plus the Shire Levy or something like that, and they miss out by 2 seconds. Actually, I don't. Instead, my brain's like, haha! And haha, just like that. Finally, Demi-Lancers with balanced lance damage. Yeah, because if your name is Demi-Lance, you probably should be doing half the damage of an actual Lance Knight, you know? Just food for thought. Or less than half. Because before, they were doing 16 compared to 29. Is he heading straight for the gold? He is. B doesn't see it coming early. Needs a quick reaction. Might be getting distracted by the scout. That timing's intentional from Vortix. Here we go. Charge in. Good reaction by B, though. And the mascot sheep is not scared at all. It's like your Lancastrians. You guys love sheep. Wait a second. I love, you mean love to eat. So, just a little bit out of time with sheep here. You can intercept on the scouts. I'm a little bit surprised that wasn't the priority for Vortix, but we'll now switch over. Is what's happening with the word need what happened with the word literally? What do you mean? I think that's a lot harder to pull off than the I literally can't believe he's doing that. You can try to emphasize someone needs something. Or you mean like need versus want. In life, a lot of people don't understand the difference between need and want, sure. In this game, Vortix needs more manners. I think that's appropriate because if B's going for an all-in timing, you need these defenses or you'll get dove and killed. So that's not like a fallacy. If you're watching an Abasa game when he needs 15 TCs, yeah, you like chill. Vortix. Oh, he's actually going for fast castle here. Interesting actually at this stage. I don't think this is deep enough for B to force White Tower. So you could probably get away with just going for a handful of spears and going King's College, which is big. Anytime you see a Lancaster player building White Tower out and it's not in your base, they're behind is the thought process. Like they're having to protect themselves against you killing them. And yeah, so B, he actually did go for melee Jean. So this tells us a lot about intent. If you go for range Jean, you're just looking to poke regularly towards the Lancaster castle area, kill a villager here or there. Melee Jean is more about dive potential. I wonder if B is going to react by going castle as well, or if he'll try to get in the base. Because the knight count isn't crazy, but the whole concept is melee Jean deals with these spearmen. So you get to dive freely. I don't know, this is the crazy thing. If you just remove the Demi-Lancer factor from the game, think how different the dynamics are. Because you see what they're doing right now. They're wasting B's time. He has to react to this play. So while he reacts, Vortix gets away with the greed. He adds in additional manners. He adds in all the production as well as the tech up. This play that Vortix is doing is not achievable without these Demi-Lancers. And reminder, he paid 500 resources for 5 of them. This was cheaper than a standard Civ building 5 horsemen. And 5 Hobolars wouldn't achieve the same reaction out of B. So do you start to see why the Demi-Lancers are so good? Very powerful unit. Okay, so B is definitely all in right now. He's going to want to find some damage for this choice to scale. Normally, you don't feel too bad as Jean or French if you don't, because you'll still just go Raw Institute, but we'll see what you can achieve. Dive's going to come in towards the gold. Good place to block right now, considering your opponent needs a lot of gold. He needs it for the Knights, needs it for the Veterancies. Well, they thought the castle needed to give HP arrows and spawn units. I think they wanted so to like defend the devs' thought process on why they gave these abilities. I think they wanted, and I find they're called defensive abilities, by the way. I think they wanted a landmark that didn't just feel like it was a static thing that existed, because you kind of already have that with White Tower, and to a lesser extent, but still Berkshire. So if you don't try to give this landmark some more character, you've literally created 3 castles as landmarks. Does that make sense? So I think what they've done with it came from a good place, their intent. But you know, what's the path to hell is paved with good intentions? Welcome to Elo Hell. Place you get escorted to thanks to these guys. So B's done a good job of just trying to minimize the damage coming in on flanks potentially. But there's a scary point in this game, guys. Again, I actually think, like, if you don't go Raw Institute here as Jean, you're in trouble. Because of Collar of Esses. If your opponent gets Collar of Esses, you just get destroyed. It's +6 bonus damage in a melee mosh pit. So you need the extra health to actually survive that. If he goes Guildhall, B's going to be avoiding fights. And yeah, there it is. Esses on the way. And no, Wolves don't give XP. They haven't for quite some time. So on release, Jean... Oh, wow, he goes Guildhall. So we'll talk about that in a sec. But yes, Jean at release would get XP from Wolves. But I was very much against it. I vocalized it regularly. I don't feel like the Born nerf on XP was necessary as much. But they done it alongside each other. The biggest problem is Wolves was like it made the Jean XP journey RNG based. And that's not a good thing. Whereas, you know, XP on Boar is fine because it's a static objective. You can see on the minimap. You know what your opponent could potentially be doing when you see it. I also love this. Oh, the great convoy across the map. So he got all deer, by the way. This is 28 deer for B. That's crazy. Could this dive be even crazier? Get seen early. Guildhall is going to complete. But Vortix is going to want to fight right now. He just sees green and hates it, though. Well postured by B. I was a little bit worried he actually had a few knights too far away. This would be scary to keep on chasing. I think B just clicked and saw that they've got the bonus against heavy. So now what does B do? Do you switch arbitrary and forfeit map control? Because if you do, Vortix is going to get the relics. He already has one home. But at the same time, can you actually beat House of Lancaster Knight spam without Cantled Saddles or Bloodlines? Because now he can only get one of them. He can get the damage buff, but he'll be missing health. It might be he feels it's worth it because you've got Jean as well. So you'll farm a lot of XP in those type of clashes. One other issue you have here, though, is Jean will get erased by knights. She normally struggles against knights, but this actually might be the ultimate Jean killer, considering it's a knight with bonus against heavy. So quite frankly, you just melt. The scouts are still looming, by the way. They're looking for their entrance back home. Because once they've done this job, they can retire forever. That's right. After this, B's going to let him... He's not going to let him stay. Actually, 8 scouts could be very useful in these engagements because of that bonus damage we talked about. So if you just kind of stick your scouts in the mosh pit, Vortix is going to get inefficient trades with these knights. Even more so, actually, with Demi-Lancers. Like, if you bog down Demi-Lancers with scouts, they're never dying. Because, remember, Demi-Lancers kind of nuts when they get the Collar Vesses. It's almost a 50% increase in damage. Oh, good charge, B. Whoa, Vortix not looking. Big deal there. Especially considering this is the Lancastrian cavalry, so no chivalry. Oh, that was unfortunate. I don't think B was noticing that. The formation shuffle actually would have got both these guys killed. Yeah, and he wasn't noticing for good reason. There was a diving attempt, so Vortix just trying to strain B here, but you see what his real win condition is. He just pulled the food. Quite early, actually. Wait, was that the food pull or was that just gathering? It's kind of nuts. Is he thinking of rushing Imperial here? What seems more probable is that B just doesn't have enough production right now. I mean, I could see the logic in it, though. We mentioned because he went Guildhall, he's missing a lot of valuable techs to keep fighting long term. And he's got to be aware that he's up against mass manners. Right now, you know, raw count-wise, Vortix has got around roughly 25 villagers extra in gathering. Well, in total, when you look at his raw villager count right now, we're basically talking about a 30 eco lead that is swollen even higher by the soon 4 relics, which is worth another 10 villagers. So, it'd be fair to say B's on the back burner a little bit when it comes to income. And by a little bit, I mean we've remortgaged the house for the 3rd time, but I swear, Papa, we're not going to be bankrupt by Christmas. We're going to be living in a cardboard box by Thanksgiving. What I say is, go as far to say is behind. I would also say, from this type of position, B needs to play 3D chess to try and beat Vortix. Oh god, that's about to get worse. Look at this timing. Look at this economy. This is the thing I keep warning people about. It's also ridiculous because of how quick you get it all because of how good your economy is. That's Veterancy Yeoman Flood into an immediate extra, what was it, 17 Yeoman? Which, by the way, mathematically is worth it. He saves money when it's the mass mana strat over just buying Yeoman normally. And obviously, instead of waiting to produce them every 15 seconds, he's going to produce 17 of them in about 5 seconds. Watch this. Oh, poke in. Wow, look at that production rate. I feel like someone just typed in a Jiffy. No, I think B didn't go for Sacred Site capture because of the Knights. Being static against the mobile comp is dangerous. There's Knights clash coming in. B just looks heavily outnumbered here. Because he is. You also got to be careful. Yeoman can somewhat catch on if you turn around for just a second. And the Knights, they're trying to go for her. Oh my. But she's already exposed. She's going to go down. Are you kidding me? No. 40 XP is all that was needed. Well, 34 to be specific. If she spawns right now, she may just die. Something needs to be killed first. There's one kill. One more needed. Okay, the XP's got there. Level 3 Jean in. B needs one hell of a stand here. Jean in the choke point, just trying to hold back an entire army, but spears are there. It is going to be good enough. The cleaves are adding up. Now the Yeoman diving in even deeper. The Knights have wasted their time. The volley to the backside. Sink shot. Decent. Catches villagers as well. And Jean on barely any HP just about gets away from it. Right now, Vortix has him by the long and curlies in his own base. Mass Yeoman still alive. And Sink shot soon to come off cooldown. Ready to rain hell from the skies. Jean is going to get sniped. No more XP there. Looks like Vortix is going to have to leave, but he leaves a rich man. 11 villages ahead after all that. There are some counter raids coming from B, but nowhere near as much damage as what Vortix achieved. Most importantly, look at what's happened to B's composition. Military count difference might not be that high, but the quality that B once wielded doesn't exist anymore. Melee Jean is going to go hunting. Okay, if she's actually going to turn this around, isn't she? It was not an edging cut. If I was, you would have lost. But, proof that Jean was the difference maker against us English people. As a guy who spends way too many hours each week playing games and casting games, I can confirm my weakness are ladies. Anyway, Jean is going to walk away now that the pokey sticks are out, but B, big stay of execution here, man. The guild hall has been ticking. He's up to 1,680 food sitting in it right now. That was a true story, by the way. I lucked out. Emma was my first partner. We got it right the first time, chat. Big pog. Many people quote. Don't want to false advertise, actually. A bit demoralizing. Anyway, Knights still just not really existing. I think at this count, B can't take a direct fight. He needs Knights to just raid. And also the chip damage just adding up. Like, how is this? I don't know if he came here waiting for the berries, but harassment on the gold hit again. So it feels like every time B makes a little raid happen, Vortix mirrors it. Here come the sink shots. Not really the hook line and sinker you're looking for, though. And a handful of spears there to scare Jean away. The problem is, if these spears touch you just once, the Yeoman melts you. Remember, it's got the Billman tech, the -1. Jean. Oh, no. Yeah, she's gone. Need more villages. Oh, no. I hope he realizes quickly. Right now, he might be distracted by the fight. Especially with sink shots, so he's looking here. Not looking at the villages. Vortix, he can keep this pressure up. It's worth it now. Because he's found the villages. And luckily, B realizes he starts to pull away. Dodges death there, but maybe not for long, because guess what? You just lost a fight, ran back into your base. And B, he knows where those villages are. Vortix is hunting for him right now. So difficult. Yeoman, such a swift unit. He spreads out. He's got sink shot. Do not walk predictably. You need to delta split. Because if you don't, this is going to hurt. In fact, Vortix has been staggering his sink shots regularly here. So it's almost like he always has, half a shot available, basically. These villagers, no shot of getting home. It's just cut him off. B's zigging and zagging because he knows there's a risk they just immediately get wiped. Army has now arrived. It works out even better because Vortix now has the sink shot for the main engagement. Flurry of arrows comes in. B now in dire straits. A 22 villager lead for Vortix. This has to be it. When you add in the manners, the fact it's 5 relics, and the fact that it's going Imperial Age, it's undeniable. Vortix will be striking back. Yeah, this is actually a worse feeling as well than just losing the game right now. You're like, nice. I mopped him up. I got him. Booyah, baby. Let's go at... He's got another army, hasn't he? Does every unit have an individual sync shot? Yes. So if you have, say, like, all these yeomen here, 14 yeomen, I could select these guys, sync shot. And then I could select these guys and have another sync shot. It's actually so much better. So if you're one of those people that selects all army and sync shots, why do you not like winning easier? Also, it's so much better to... So like, do you want to go the next level about it? It's even better to just sync shot with... if you really want to micro this, sync shot with one yeoman like 4 times. And somewhere in that composition, like, select a bunch of them. Because for your opponent, he doesn't know... Unless he's directly looking at your yeoman and paying full attention, he will not know which sync shot is the heavy damage one. So you pretty much turn sync shot into Russian roulette. But only your opponent is playing. And then, by the way, guys, what you want to do is you want to shift queue all that up so that you have enough time to all chat type, make it rain. All right, tech out complete for Vortix. I mean, this felt inevitable. He was so far ahead, he didn't even have to play safe. He full wrist, wing guard. He has tried to be a little bit of a nuisance on the flanks. Now, we've seen this before, folks. Vortix, last time he took the lead, took a big eco-scaling potential into his own game plan with the 2 TC in game 1, but this is very different. Militarily, economically, the details are nowhere near similar. B knows he has to pump the Hail Mary. Marching towards the farms. Elite Tech's just 20 seconds away. Scuttage has not been researched, so gold needs to be secured on the flanks. Vortix, oh my god, this is costing him again. So Knight's still alive. The B, where's your entry point here? He doesn't know if it is Berkshire yet either. Yeoman. There's the sing shot, the big one! Big hit! And his second layer! He didn't use all at once! Staggered into 2 groups, a big warp to the back line that B has. And it's not going to be Swiftcraft on these spearmen, surely. The Knight count getting eviscerated. Only a handful of them left on the front line, 8 to be exact. And more spears now coming in. Vortix, so elegantly played there. 1 sync shot wouldn't have been enough. He needed that layered cake. And proved himself to be the ultimate muffin man. He's diving, saving a lot of health loss just by taking it all into Jean, but you're seeing the exhaustion set in terms of his ability to dive here. Food income is plummeting. Guildhall cannot back him out. This with 860 in reserve. Vortix has done it. He survives the Hail Mary from B. We won't be seeing a repeat of game number 1. Interesting arrow volley. I think he was assuming his opponent's going to walk back into it. But yeah, at this stage, it just doesn't matter. There's not enough knights to carry this fight. Deeper into the set we shall go, one and all. Plenty of entertainment to be found in this week's Midweek Muster Finals. Yeah, Don. Like, you know, like for the anticipation and enjoyment of the game, it's really important that you do not shoot the entire shot at once. Has life not taught you this? You've got to pay. Pacing's important for the narrative, my friend. Boom. Just like that, you have a narrative. It's not going to be a swamp and a stomp. Thank goodness. Back and forth. Now, remember, guys, this also means we are guaranteed a redraft because you only won't see a redraft if it's a 4-0 sweep. So we could see more of Lancaster down the line, more Byzantines, Jean, etc. Checking YouTube. doesn't read YouTube chat. It's just us here. That's not true. I do check on YouTube chat. It's just I can't check it as frequently as Twitch chat because Twitch is overlaid on the stream. So, joke's on you, Afram. You're wrong. Yeah, I usually do like YouTube responses in bulk because of Twitch's rules that you can't have chat integrations with each other, unfortunately. I'm hoping they change that rule soon so that I can. So, next up though, it's caramel time. And we are going to be getting sushi versus Japanese. It's kind of funny to see Japanese not picked by B. Interesting. I'll set predictions up as well. Give you guys... I'll start the 2-minute timer in like 30 seconds. Oh, actually, I'll run ads now. Yeah. Oh, wait. Ads already ran. Damn it. Gosh darn it. Give us more ads. I'm trying. You know, guys, if you don't want ads, you can just subscribe. And it does help the channel out. Yeah, we're currently, I think we're still 87 out of 100 on our plus goal. So if you're a unique subscriber, not gifted subscriber, whatever, that helps increase that number. Let's try and crack that. We've been consistently getting past the 100 mark, just about, which means we basically get an extra 10% revenue on the subs. Oof. Kind of weighing up playing some, what's it called? 33 Clair Obscura, whatever it's called. I forgot the name. It's a weird name. Some Clair Obscura Expedition 33 or Elder Scrolls as part of tomorrow's stream, maybe. Got Turbo for a reason. True, that doesn't help us with our plus goal, though. Sag. Turbo pays you more? I don't know if that's mathematically true. Be curious if you got a video that proves that. But, like, it doesn't, like, I can tell you, it doesn't help with the plus goal thing I was talking about. So the plus goal is literally, if you get 100 people that don't use prime subs or gifted subs, with, like, the standard type of subs. If you get at least 100 unique people doing that, then instead of getting a 50-50 split, you get a 60-40 split. And then if you have 300 people to do that, you get a 70-30 split. So it was a nice thing that Twitch added, but also kind of like, why not just give us the money? They had to complicate it. Anyway, let's roll on in. Time to break that tie. One and all, welcome back to our grand finals. Beat, get out of here now. Actually, he's fine. Wait, did he snatch? Oh, that is a brilliant way to start this game. We're in the game number 3 of our grand finals, and that was a sick read by B. Japanese up against Sushi. And B, I love the confidence there, realizing it wasn't too deep, because he's playing against Japan. Japan, the optimal play is to build farmhouse and go out into the berries, because with Tawara, your wheelbarrow tech, you're immediately gathering quicker off of berries. Sick read by B. A little bit of a gamble that his opponent would have been doing it, because not every player does go for the berries immediately. Gets him off to a good start in the sheep rotation. Well, a recovery arc, shall we say, because he needs to catch up. Right now, B. Oh my god. Vortix almost has double the sheep. Then again, that number is obscured a bit. Remember, Vortix is not going to be touching those early. But let's talk about the matchup, because we are on Carmel, and it has spawned deer. And those deer are actually kind of interestingly spawned. I think that's more because the player's position on the map is interestingly spawned. But one thing you will be noticing is the deer split is at least a bit more even. We still seem to have some inconsistency here, where you've got a lot of deer on one side. Also, those didn't catch it. This is a little bit wild. These deer stacks now have 10 in them. And I'm selecting them like this for a good reason. So, slight decrease. It is now 49 deer. It used, 49 deer on the outskirts. It used to be, there we go. It used to be 60, so now it's 58. They minus 2 deer from this map entirely. So it's a slight nerf. It's in the right direction. I still think genuinely this map has too much food on one location. I don't think it's too bad when it's like this, though, guys. Like, this type of deer is fine because it's really close to the sacred site, so it's mid-map. So when they spawn like this, I'm not a big fan. Oh, my... Are you kidding me? We talked to devs. This map has too much food. Dev's response. So you're saying you want more food? We can do that. That is ridiculous. That's 108 food a minute. That is 2.5 villages of infinite food. Oh my god. Okay, you know what would have made this even better is if Vortix had aggroed the boar. That is crazy. And yes, there's an issue with this map on the ladder. It's to do with biome. There's a certain biome and rotational ladder that causes deer not to spawn. But we're using European temperate, so that problem doesn't exist. That is crazy, man. I can't believe you got that. I'm not even sure with this map spawn what the statistical probability of that is. I mean, it's not just that you got 3 berries on one screen, because Vortix got that. It's the fact that you got them all in a triangle. Absolutely wild start for B. And really impactful. You know, when we talk about 108 food a minute, it doesn't sound like that big of a number, but at this stage, it is. At this stage, it's like 15% of your economy. Forever. Obviously, it won't stay at 15%, but it will be infinite food. And if I read enough threads on Lancaster Manors, I know how you guys feel about infinite. The boar's the gardener? No, the boar is the sentinel. He's there to guard it, man. Final sheep haul, by the way, was kind of nutty. 26 sheep for Japan. 13 for B. He has been gathering, though. So, like, it was more balanced in the end. Meditation gun's still a ridiculous landmark? It's not often you get this. This is very rare. I don't think this is that valuable, by the way, in the current meta. With Shushi doing pro scouts a lot, I think it's kind of an eh. Is he going to pro scouts? Yeah. So, like, this is the thing. Before pro scouts, food meditation guns like this was the world. But since pro scouts meta came in, I don't rate this as highly anymore. Usually, it feels better to get some gold, stone, wood. Stone actually became insanely invaluable in the new meta because with the new builds where you go pro scouts into FC, if you get that stone gen really early, by the time you're ready for a 2TC transition, you almost have the entire cost covered by the meditation gun. Now, something that was interesting is the fact that Vortix did not play into Coca. Why I find that interesting is actually a lot of the time against Shushi, we have seen Shinobi. Even though they'll get countered by Chuganu, it forces your opponent onto a slow unit that will get countered by Fast Castle. So, very kind of different approach here. Even more so when you consider he got so many sheep early on. All right, what was the predictions like? 70% for B. I feel that. Kind of comedial is the fact that Japan is actually dominating at a lot of elos right now, but in high-level play, it's not a very good civ. It's way too predictable. What they do well, but the problem is the linearity of it means you're very easily counterable. Same thought process in the past where we've had cheesy builds. Like, once you realize what the cheesy build is, you can prep for it. If it's that good that the opponent's only ever going to do that build, you already know it's coming. Kind of like how Mongol Outpost Rush is really impactful in the early days of the game, less impactful these days. Because you're expecting it. Now, the difference with Mongols is they got creative. They're like, okay, if they think I'm going to Outpost Rush, what if I do something greedy instead? For Japan, I like to think players are trying to find some innovation, but as we can see here, it's not innovative. It's literally going to be an FC. How often can this man walk underneath defenses without dying? B is going for the wall in. He's aware that he's going to be behind on the tech timing. Rax is being prepped as well. And you just expect to be behind on tech timing when you go pro scouts. What I'd like for B to do is not gather all the deer here, by the way. Yeah, there you go. The reason why you want to 50-50 grab deer is when the Mad Samurai come in, they're going to hit one side. So if you gather all the deer from this side, then your opponent can just block the other. But if you split the grab, he can't block everything. What's up, Aaron Paul? Appreciate the bits, mate. Why don't we see Japanese samurai swarms? Because it's like mass samuraiing is slow, even with floating gates, because your economy. So it's kind of cheesy. It feels like to get away with just spamming samurai over Mount Samurai, your opponent has to screw up. What you have to think is, what is the value of 1 minute arms versus 1 knight? What's the value of 2 minute arms versus 1 knight? What's the value of 3 minute arms versus 1 knight? Even at 3 minute arms, I'd still take 1 knight. Because that 1 knight can avoid a bad fight. He can raid. He'll also move in quick enough that my opponent can't easily have a crossbow counter in time. So inherently, Mount Samurai just made a hell of a lot more sense. They also use the deflective armor ability much better than Samurai. Because Foot Samurai can't lose their deflective armor and then run away. They're too slow. You have to keep in mind, when you're talking about RTSs, the most valuable statistic is across the board in RTS is probably movement speed. Because it's an applicable stat that's useful for both ranged and melee types. Secondary, like if you're counting only range, obviously is range. Range is the king factor. But like speed is number 1 because it is a valuable asset to any unit type. Okay, I want to propose something crazy that could make Raxes good. Because I think for Japan, outside of the Dark Age Rax Rush thing, it's not there. What if their Raxes could double produce? Is that crazy? I know people think in the Dark Age, but I don't think it changes too much about the timing because your economy is too weak to double produce consistently. No more than, say, a Mongol player would. But that would give a unique identity and would actually make their Raxes more useful. Because right now, on the current meta, Japan's least used production building at high level is Rax. Wallow? He's not gonna get that. So, hilariously deflective armor difference, because without it, he would have killed 1 Mount Samurai and got the Wallow. This one? We'll at least be able to scare him away. So this is a big deal, actually. B is just trying to strip all relics from the map ASAP. And he has a much more aggressive timing because he's producing his Monk Gatherers. Meanwhile, your Relic Gatherers over here are now only getting actively produced. Before that, it was reliant on the float gate. They have Samurai with 90 food, 30 gold. Let's say something weird. What if you actually had an option to use stone instead of another resource for part of the cost? Like, it had to be an optional for it to work for Japan, I think. But I don't know, you want something that gives them options but doesn't make them OP economically or militarily. There's a lot of spears. I've seen B do this a lot in the past. Normally you're thinking crossbows against Mount Samurai. It's much more efficient on trading. But the problem with crossbows is it doesn't let you attack, really. You're kind of stuck defending. If he gets enough spears blobbed, he can just send it to the enemy base. But it does leave you susceptible to this. The new improved Yumi. Taxman. Oh, it does just about get him. Nice strike in there, Vortix. Valuable kill. Very big difference between when you play China and Shushi is against China, killing Taxmen is not worth it over villages. But against Shushi, 100% is the play. I like Divide. Looks like it is going to slightly favor B here, so I think we're getting a 3-2 split. We also have Pro Scouts still playing well. It's only 9 Scouts, guys. It'll take a while, but they'll get the goodies home. And Yumi's revealed early. Would it be OP if you start with a Daimyo mana? Yes, because Uma Bannerman exists. You can't actually have Japan start with Daimyo because they literally get Feudal Age and immediately build a stables because they get a fast-produced knight. You get, remember, with the Japanese, you get your knight out really quick. It takes you 15 seconds compared to a normal 35. That's an ambitious unit. Mount Samurai still raiding, but Vortix, he has turned into a chip lead here. 6 villagers up. The Meditation Garden has offset some of that problem. The extra relics definitely help for B as well. And I think he's now considering Yuan. He stopped playing for the tech up. That will give him a lot of resource gen via the pagodas. Make Uma Bannerman Castle? Congrats. You just complained that the Civ only goes Castle Age, and now you're saying they can't play Horseman in Feudal Age. Do you see the conundrum now? You'd have to rework Uma. I mean, this is something that people quite often forget when they talk about balance changes with RTSs. It's a ripple effect. For the Civ itself and its dynamics, but also the interactions with other Civs. So many details you have to consider with just one change. So PG switch up is an interesting one for B. He's mudding it into the Spearmen so that when Yumi flood, they'll just hit the wrong target. It's really smart. We see this a lot of the time with, say, English, with Men-at-Arms, Longbow, Flood, with Spears. Interesting wall lob. He's like, just get off my lawn. Like, guys, look at my stick. You guys go defend me, so everyone's got to watch me swing my stick. God, it feels like me when I was a kid and I had... We call them G-sticks. I don't know what the actual name is. You know, where, like, you've got 2 sticks, and then you got a bigger stick, and you do things with that stick. Juggling, etc. You see it on parades. Usually it looks very goofy. There was a time where we all thought it was cool. I swear it existed. This is getting frustrating for B. The Yumi are just so good at kiting. If you thought Yeoman movement speed was OP, wait until you discover these guys have 0.07 more. Yeah, so very good at actually just keeping distance consistently. And credit to him, Vortix, a micro master improving it here, man. Even though the pass guard are getting muddied in, the Spearmen are just sniped. There's barely any left. He's down to 5. I think Vortix is just outplaying him in this fight right now. And the reason this is important, guys, Vortix kind of has to do this on this map. If he backs away, there's a risk that your opponent's going to drop a keep on the central goal. It's usually how the map's decided. And Japan, in theory, is quite weak here because of that detail. They can't build a castle here. He now goes in for the A-click clash for good reason. Look at the military numbers. He's broken him. 4 gold, the only gold he's got left. And B, there's no standing up against this. Beautifully executed and timed here by Vortix. A dive under the gold that's scalping plenty of villager. And now a lead for the Spaniard in game number 3. Great control here, man. Pro Scouts is usually tricky, but that's the thing about this map. And I think it's also why it gets away with having 60 deer or 58 deer. Is because of the gold. Normal Pro Scouts, the problem is the gold is safe, the food is safe. But on this map, the gold being so little puts you in an uncomfortable position quickly. I don't think we get to even see the full uncomfort of that. 500 gold left on the vein. Vortix is going to be slowing down just a little bit here, but he has plenty of food to work with. He's on the berries in the flank. His double Sacred Site locked in. And at some point, he will bank that second relic. Surely. Probably. Maybe. Where is he? Bruh. Yes. Believe it or not, guys, Yumi are OP if you micro like Vortix. Then again, starting the game is OP if you micro like Vortix. Oh, look, a Ford Monastery. I'm sure this will not bite him in the butt. Well, it is PG now. Has Vortix overdone it on Yumi, maybe? No, I think it's fine. His opponent's still going crossbows, so he keeps value. It's just he needs to be very careful with these choke points because of how quickly the melee of Shushi could gap close. Like right now, there's just too many Yumi going through, so he grieves himself on the exit. But yeah, I think he knows he's at Hail Mary point. The gold income... Okay, hold on a sec. in theory, it can't last forever, but he has snuck out in an impressive way here. That tree line is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, completely unseen. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I think Vortix right now is just like, oh, okay, I've won. He can't gather gold. He's out. He doesn't know. Question now is whether it matters. Once again, Micro on point, goes straight off the crossbows. Mount Samurai held in reserve until all crossbows are gone, and then he dives in. GG gets called. Vortix, pristine execution with a Civ that may be dominant in low rank. It looks quite underwhelming in the high rank. Yumi only for the crossbows? Yeah, it's like cost-efficient counter. Because at that point, like, you had to build them to counter spears. And it also, the value of Yumi isn't just that it kind of deals with crossbows because it has quantity. In the initial point of the game, the point in doing Yumi spam is so that your opponent can't do spears. So your Mount Samurai are better. So, interesting dynamic there. They fixed the map spawn. What is... I don't believe them. That is ridiculous, though. That meditation gun still is going to haunt my dreams. You mean now a lot cheaper? Yep. Almost a 10% discount compared to what they used to be. So, lead now taken. Next up, we've got Enlightened Horizon. Da, 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 da. Let me just update everything. We're going to be seeing Ottomans vs Knights Templar. Oh, yes. I really do rate Ottomans at the moment, especially when B's got them in his hands. But also, just like this matchup, I think is pretty good. Your opponent wants to lean archers, and the ranged armor is really strong. Shirt matches the room. Incorrect. Room matches the shirt. I like this shirt, though. It's unique. It's different. All right, guys. So, we've got, what, 2 minutes? I can't run ads. Damn it. Imagine if Puppy Ball returns to Yumi ways. I don't know. I haven't seen Puppy Ball do Yumi in quite a while. Whereas, like, Vortix, Lucifer, B, I have. Can you do Italian mafia accent? Yeah, but it'll, like, cost me probably 20 viewers. Deeply insulted about it. I mean, if someone subs, I'll do the Italian accent. It's like, oh boy, we now pay KP to racially profile. Yep. Welcome to modern society. Right wing got you like what? Wing Janissary buff? I don't think they really need it. I think they're fine. Hey, what's up, Spice? All right, I'm true to my word. You ready? Mamma mia! Waha! There you go. And just like that, I've probably made an enemy in the Sicilian Mafia. That's Mario? Mario's an Italian plumber, you fool. Are you saying that plumbers are not Italian they can't be mafia members? Have you never seen what Mario does for a living? He goes place to place, busting open pipes, crushes your pets, steals all your coins, and takes your broad. I can't think of anything more mafia. God, I'm going to have to rewatch Godfather. I can't remember his accent. Godfather. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and do it. I'd have to hear it. And then, like, because he mistreats his partner, just like in those movies like Goodfellas, like she's sleeping around, same with Peach. Bangs a giant turtle. Yep, same with Peach. She bangs a giant toll. Anyway, I just clicked the recording button. I don't know why I began like that, but one and all. Welcome back. If you wonder what that was about, you should have been watching live. We're into game number 4 here. Vortix now taking the lead. Predictions about to come up. Because this is going to be a fun one. We are an enlightened horizon. And it's time to enlighten you all as to the power of the Ottomans. That's right. B has picked Ottomans, likely expecting the Knights Templar pick considering the way the draft has gone. It just seems realistic. I mean, if we have a look at what was left here, Delhi, he had. That was the other big threat. English a possibility, but I think Ottomans can handle that as well. And B, he is going to begin, as he often does, with the Spearman opening. Yeah, and usually this is about a deer shove, but guys, to begin with on this map is the merchant camps. B really rates these highly, so 2 to 3 spears, secures the merchant camps, and then after you've got the 3 spears, you come back here and shove your deer in. Now, sometimes I've seen players like him do this in military school, but the reason he's doing it actively with Rax is because of Vortix. Vortix will likely try to block him. In fact, Vortix, he's playing Rax too. This is about to get very interesting. Yeah, so this is a matchup where you can't play Spear Clash long as KT. KT is actually looking like one of the best spear spamming civs in the game in Dark Age because of their wood gathering. Makes them very good for things like outpost rushes. But where they suck here is against Ottomans for the Vizier points. If this trend continues, and let's say they both build 10 spears, B gets his hands on the Imam Vizier point and just wins. How would Biz play this map? I don't think they can now. So a change was made so that the berries now spawn further away on Enlightened Horizon. I don't think Byzantines really works here. They might be the lowest value pick on this map. Also, another interesting change you guys might be noticing. They actually added a lot to the negative empty space in Enlightened Horizon in the corners. So they added additional veins, but they also added the trade posts. Honestly, I don't think the 8k veins were that needed. I actually like the character of the 8ks only being the center. But the trade posts are cool, at least. And this is cool as well. Yeah, I almost forgot. The wolf did... Oh, this is FC. That's sick. Yeah, I totally forgot. They also added wolf dens. Wolf dens that when you kill them give 150 gold. And that's so smart. B, he spawns the wolf pack. Remember, these wolves are stronger than standard wolves. And then aggroes them away to guarantee the kill. Okay, this is a really cool build. So it sets it on fire. This is a little bit of a gamble because I believe if Vortix comes over and hits it last, he's going to get paid. But eventually he'll get the gold. And it's smart. Think about the timing on this, guys. By the time he'll actually pop the gold for it, he'll already be towards feudal age. This is crafty, man. What a cool build. And Vortix, did he have a similar idea? He's pulling the spears here now, but he's outnumbered and he doesn't realize. He did get injured heavily on one spear, but it's heavily staggered. Yeah, and I think, did he glance that? Yeah, he knows. He's backing away. I mean, he either knows or he was checking, didn't see any burn, and assumes nothing's happened. I mean, who would think their own would be taken first? And Vortix, do it for the yoink. Do it for the yoink. Oh, that is sick timing. Ring a roses just needs that finishing touch. Well played, Vortix. Cha-ching. Wait, was it 100 gold now? I thought it was 150. Did they change the number? I don't think he got 100 gold there. 150. I think he got 100. Oh, it's only for... Wait, am I an idiot and haven't been paying attention? Is it actually for burning? All right, I'm an idiot. I assumed it was... Yeah, it even says, you're right, it says who burns the den. Okay, but does that mean that Vortix thought he got something for destroying it? Because why even waste your time? My bad. I don't know why. My brain thought it was for destroying it. Yeah, I actually think he doesn't know. He's a bit like me right now. He's like, oh, it's for the burn. Because why even risk running around the wolves at that point? I mean, I guess maybe it keeps your micro fingers going, but this is rough, man. So B gets a 300 gold injection off the map. In the meantime, Vortix did at least take the merchant camps, but he's not going to be able to hold them right now. He's outnumbered. And hardened status is on the way for B. Vortix, do you even bother? I think you just skip. You know you won't win the spear fight now. What a cool build. B, now he is going to play the Age. So it's not going to just be greedy bypass. But he will eventually get there. B's done what almost feels like the signature. You very rarely see him do Madrasa these days, unless he's going Mass Sipahi. And you might be wondering, like, why would you not do Mass Sipahi? You're against Knights Templar. I think it's to do with the interaction between Sipahi and Chevalier that he doesn't like. And technically, you can just scale archers. Because although Knights Templar have got more efficiency and affinity for wood, you've got more affinity for range reduction. The meta. And we even have the Imam as well. Smart play this early on. Like 1 or 2 archers is not going to get a kill on an Imam. So this is just going to be a 1 villager difference he wants to take. Which, if it matters to both players, it's a 2 villager difference. Nice grab as well. Vortix not looking. He does let one of them out. Pilgrims. Oh my god, the timing on this. It's going to be a double Pilgrim kill. Okay, that is sick reads by B. I'm starting to be convinced that he actually just might be the cleanest player at executing Imam strats. I don't see anyone else so frequently use these guys like this. Especially against civs that are going to go archers. Saves another spin. Oh my god, Vortix is not looking. Oh, he's vibing right now. Archer's now joining the retinue. Okay, can we just agree at this point that B is the best Ottoman player in the world? I think we are at that stage. He may not hit with it 100% of the time, but he hits more than anyone else. You may be able to say that's because no one else picks it so frequently, but when you see him use it like this, it kind of blows you away. M-Lord is the best Otto at one point in this game. Okay, but like now, I'm not who what that statement is like me saying Xiao was the best Mongol player in 2021. It's like, okay. Right now though, B, like it's either B or Louis. B and Louis are the 2 best Ottoman players in the game right now. They execute on a standardized build order very, very well, but it's the creativity to go off script that makes them different. Doesn't Anatan use a Civ a lot? Yeah, and it's no offense to Anatan. It's more praise to B. I think like B is the biggest threat on the Civ. B for his early game and Louis for his late. So Archer's now arriving B. He's doing such a good job of this. This Stealth Forest, you can't snipe the Imams. Look at the vision. It's a big issue, and now the Spim and peel off to deal with the Pilgrims. So he's denying eco, and also now looking to edge out a lead militarily. This is so well executed by B. And so difficult to do at this level. Remember, he's leaning hard into the enemy side and still finding it each time. Chevalier Confrere now added in. But B, he's switching Sipahi. And Chevalier should be able to beat Sipahi if it wasn't for the Imams. But, you know, that's like saying I could beat English if they didn't have longbows. Like, the Imams are here. And so far, they've managed to stay time and time again. On top of that, we do have the meta, which all of a sudden changes the kill point for archer quantity. Oy, oy, oy. And people asking about the eco difference, it's 3 for the age up, 2 for the pilgrims, that makes 5, and then Ottomans with the Sultani Trade Network spawn 3 workers. Hence the 8 difference. Sipahi now with the dive. Looks like a few of the pilgrims did get through, but it's going to come at a heavy price here. Yeah, he's chasing for it. Steeled arrows on the way. He already got the undermesh. I love this. I think the intent was the Imams can still just turn up to the fight. Funnily enough, they actually stayed back. And the Sipahi, they just get to eat. Feast even. Vortix, he pulled the Chevalier away. Oh my god, what a brilliant strike here. This is getting out of control. He even gets away. So Imam's going to come in to kiss the boo-boos better. The Plastic Knights are dying against the Platinum Horsemen. And this game, like, it's brought it over. And I really want to emphasize, anyone go try this on the ladder. It's not as easy as it looks. Micro execution is key here. Timing is key. And B has it to a T. What a monster. Yeah, even has the Anatolian heals to keep his economy safe at home. So there's no raid, and that's smart because his opponent's now going Chevalier Cocher. It's like, actually, losing one archer is perfect. It'll save a lot more now because of that interception. So it might be that he wants to rally a few spearmen out here now. I think instead you just go more Sipahi in. No one's going to help you. Ottomans eventually screwing over the Crusades. I guess in some ways it can be historically relevant. Kind of before their time, but sure. Not spam military schools? Yeah, so like military schools in general can usually feel like a bait. If you're going for a timing build, military schools can be your worst enemy. Because it just doesn't offer a return quickly. Whoa, Archer's frontlining here. The Spy, I'm not sure why they held back so long there. Let's get Micro on point B, just pulling them back. Any injured party one by one. Meta overextended. He does lose the aura. That's a big win for Vortix. The numbers might already be 2 against him though. Sipahi now diving in. The Imam's just far enough away. The archers can't reach, and the Fortitude gets activated because the Chevalier went the wrong side of the stone outcropping. Villagers now with the shivs out. That's going to force the Sipahi back. The archers are cutting off reinforcements. Vortix, he didn't change the rally point. Yeah, his reinforcements are getting sniped one by one. And the Sipahi just get to roam around the other side, and that is it. He's on the production. He cannot be stopped. This man is an absolute monster on the Ottomans. What a read and what a play. Man, this set is incredible so far. So we end up getting a 2-2 score now going into the redraft. Drip much when? When I can afford it. Oof. Yo, it's crazy. Like, so it's crazy with some of my influencers how often we get reached out about like merch lines. I'm just like, they're just gonna pump something generic that no one's gonna buy. We never go for it for that reason. I'd love to have merch eventually. Like, I honestly, yeah, it's something we do when we scale for sure. Like, we've got someone who's been working on like some emotes and whatever in the background, like maybe a new logo potentially. And like one or two of the things they sent over, I was like, those would probably be cool on a shirt. Okay, so redraft complete. Let me check. They should have switched sides. Yes. So there we go. Yes. Okay, so Lancaster for B this time. What is that shirt? Oh, this shirt's cool. Can you see what's on it? One sec. Let me see if I can zoom in without moving it too much. Can you see it? It's peacocks. Yeah, we got peacocks. What's that? Peacocks. Oh, sorry, pheasants. Yeah, pheasants. I want to say peacocks. My brain. Yeah, pheasants. No, I'm just checking and paying attention. Yeah, pheasants. Why did I say peacocks? Okay, peacock one would be rainbow colored. Yeah, they're pheasants. Sad that they are not pigeons, but we tolerate it. I don't know why I said peacocks, actually, in my brain. Oops. Ugh, why do you want me to wear a tie? Do you know how hot it is? Why you gotta ruin my vibe, man? Ruining my vibe. Oh my god, I changed myself. My headset is now linked on the right side, so I can't headset and walk to the door anymore. GG. It's over. I give up. Yo. Is it peacocks and elephants? Like I said it again. Pheasants and elephants? Nah, that don't work. It's too much. Do you like my casual on the bottom? Getting fat? Bro, did you just fat shame me? Yo, timeouts. Redeem the timeouts now. You don't fat shame someone. That's uncalled for. Do you know how fat we used to be? Just for that? And I'm going to get a pass for it from Emma. I'm going to seduce your mum. Maybe she likes a lot to grab on the hips, huh? Huh? It's like a big head and a big ass on the thing she grabs. What's up, Nikolai? Appreciate the prime sub, mate. Welcome to Swarm. Double not. There are rules? What's the rules? Getting sorted, bang mum? I think those are the rules. Oh, done a very short one here. I don't like, nah, this one I don't like. With double Windsor, it's too fat. No, the rules didn't say your mum's off guard, off limits. It's not true. By the way, here you go. Waiting to get in the game. Bro, why are you saying Trump tie? As if red didn't exist before Trump. If I had a Dorito face, I'd at least understand. Come on, brother. Tie tying? Oh yeah, master of it, baby. Ain't nobody dressed to impress like us in esports. Look more like a Labour councillor. Hey, you're not a right-wing fascist, are you? Have you voted Labour? Toilet's great. Thank you, thank you. See, it's all about getting the right colours because you got the pheasants in red, so it complements them really nicely. Half Windsor, yep. Half Windsor goes well. There's like sometimes. It's like, if you want to go full Windsor, with a tie this wide anyway, I think you're going to want a waistcoat. Full Windsors make more sense when you need to amplify a tiny area, but if you're showing a full tie, it can backfire. Also, the average length of most ties makes full Windsors awkward when you don't wear a waistcoat quite often. You have to get it right near the tip of the edge, so it changes the scale and everything. Because otherwise, your tie's going to come up short, and you're going to look like a McDonald's employee. You know, when like people in McDonald's have those really tiny ties. And we'll run predictions. So let's see. Game 4 for B. Start predickies for Game 5. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. Doink. Oh, and we got Dry Arabia, Byzantine Chinese. This might be a little bit better in this matchup now. Hosting a Nickelodeon kids program. Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. I need to be more husky on the throat. Used to do it really well. Are you ready, kids? There you go. That nice mixture of husky and sitting on your testicles. It's really how you hit it. Ugh. I'm gonna lose it a bit though. I don't know. My neck feels a bit I want to get back to climbing. Every streamer should have the color enhancement layer have. What on what? Like in-game? I was about to say, because I don't have any color enhancement on the camera. This is au naturel, you know? The fat ass head, the paley white complexion, the deep brown eyes, which is how I will begin with seducing your mother. It's just only appropriate. You called me chubby. Your mama's gonna get the chubby. In the game. Man, when we're not in game, we really are unhinged, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's an appropriate nerf to China. One and all, welcome back to our grand finals between Vortix and B. G5, and look at the spawn. China gets the double deer forward. Byzantines gets it all on one screen. Yeah, I think that's reasonable to pro scout standards. And it is going to be greedy boy from both of them, I imagine. B, I don't think we're going to be seeing any sort of racks opening. We have seen him with some shenanigans so far in this series where he tries to deer shove underneath the TC. Not going to do that. Just standard China. Vortix, on the other hand, not all inning. This is not the Vortix we know. No, that's right, guys. When he plays Byzantines, he always seems to go towards this double villager on stone. So not interested in being as aggressive as possible. Got to say, we already noted that a few times throughout the series, is that this Vortix is not as relentlessly aggressive as he once was. And honestly, I want to like thumbs up and positive that. I think it's a good change. The problem with old Vortix is he was too predictable. He wanted to send it full Devi. Like, you know, he wanted to send it harder than when you're playing like Apex Legends or Warzone and someone tells you that the person's 1 HP. Nowadays, you're not quite sure exactly what he's going to do, and that's important. I think the versatility of play matters a lot at the highest level. If you make a reputation for being a cheesy all-inner or doing X strategy all the time, people are already going to know what you're doing before you do it. So you're counterable. Like, even OP strats become somewhat counterable because I can anticipate and counter it beforehand instead of in reaction to. I think that's where, for example, players like me and Micah have struggled a lot bit. Me and Micah has many different forms of cheese. That man could actually run his own cheese shop. But the moment you get in a game against me and Micah, your first instinct is, how's he cheesing me? And that's very important. It's kind of like Vortix, you used to be, you got into game against him, it's like, how's he going to attack me? And that's where B also benefits a lot whenever new metas come out. I think B does very well when big changes happen in Age of Empires 4. In the early days, he looks phenomenal because his creativity oozes through. He gets ahead of people because they don't know what they're meant to be getting ahead on yet. This Civ, I don't think too much has changed with China opening 5 or 10 minutes. Imperial Academy is going to be coming in. Macro should likely lean towards Pro Scouts afterwards. We already have him with no Imperial officials, so we'll have to spawn the first. And gold gen is already looking good at 71. By the time he starts pulling, he's going to be about 130 gold. And remember, you need 300 to get the tech. B has some of the best creativity. TOV, H3 Archer spam. Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, there's a lot of these things he discovers that then just moves into be meta all the time. Like, one pristine example is we've seen more people, I think, engaging with Frisian Marshes for, like, Abbasid dot drops. When B was, I believe, actually the first player to really start doing that. Him and Anatan. I still remember casting a series between them where you had Frisian and they were both just shenaniganing on the ponds with docks. Okay, am I the only one that gets this? Where whenever I say the word shenanigans, I immediately think of Super Troopers. And Pistol Whips. Is that just a me thing? And yeah, Systems are really worth it right now. They actually got buffed, and they got buffed again. So it used to be that it was 750 to build all of them, now 600. Now it's even cheaper, remember. It used to be, I think, 650 is what the new one was, and before that was 750. And now with the new one, it's 600. So like systems just keep getting buffed. Oh, sorry, 600 now, used to be 625. The first one coming in. Vortix, I like the way he does this. He sets up the system on the back to get an optimal timing on the Grand Winery Second one immediately plop down on the stone. You might think it's better to buff here, but realistically it's not. You'd buff your 2 workers here, sure, but you'd miss out on your 2 to 3 workers here, and you'd miss out on your berry gatherers at first. So, nice to lay it on the base. B, meanwhile, did he go for pro scouts? He has got the taxation pool now to do. So, probably what B's going to do here is rush the stables, start pumping out the scouts, and then try and pro scout. Or is this just, wait, is this just not PS? That's quite rare for China. You won't call the first change a buff? I would. I think we talked about the win rates. So if you guys haven't seen, I went over the patch notes on YouTube. Definitely check it out. But the patch, so in it, we discovered Byzantines losing a lot in tournament play, which is kind of shocking to me. But I think those losses, a lot of them are attributed towards people adjusting to the new Byzantines, because it changed a lot about the opening game. Anytime you see an alteration to a civ that drastically changes their first 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to see a huge drop-off in win percentage. Because at that stage in the game, the changes, if you're not used to them, if you haven't optimized around them, they have huge ripple effects into your 15, 20, 30-minute times. But to me, this system change was like a nerf only to your first mercenary pull, so your aggro got slightly crippled, but your eco got buffed a lot better. It just made Byzantines more of an eco-focused civ. At least in the first few minutes. So kind of an interesting matchup in that regards, considering it's double eco. We should be getting pro scouts coming through in a second. So yeah, look at the way B does this. He opens with 1 horseman to try and be annoying on this system. That's crafty. He can force the Acrotoy and just walk away. And this hurts Vortix a little bit because he wants optimal scaling into the additional systems. First Limitane is going to arrive, so not too bad for him, but B. We're going for what I usually call like the Anno build. I think Anotan probably has the best execution on this like Archer Bolt build I've seen because he takes it to the extremes. B, I want to say he does so less. He'll add in archers but won't commit to it fully. It's more like you just want your opponent to overreact to it. So probably 4 to 5 archers. It might be he goes more just because of the deer location. Like if he tries to fight directly and win, it will give him access to a lot more food here. Yeah, and he gets shoved away at an awkward time as well. I wonder if he was actually expecting the spear reaction that quickly. Because the way he had to back off, it feels like he was at least expecting a snatch and grab on 1 deer stack. Good interception. Does reveal the archers. Limitane are out of the base though. And Vortix, yeah, he doesn't even turn around for a stab here. Well, Micro, so already 1 kill in favor of B. He's going to try to overwhelm the archer, but additionals are coming. He needs the javelins ASAP. Oh, I think B wants to try and pull 1 Limitane and tank with a scout. So his horseman can just kill him. These early units are really, really critical, guys. If Vortix just loses 1 or 2 more Limitane, he's going to struggle to get out and block with his troops because the javelins won't feel safe. If B loses just 1 to 2 horsemen, he won't be able to actually aggro here. He won't have enough to threaten the javelins. So very delicate balance this early on in the game. Can people do trade post mercs? Not really. It's super situational. You need the right spawn to even entertain the idea. Unless you're going for something cheesy like a Limitane outpost rush where you go Merc House, but I think the timings just don't make sense for that. Yep, level 5 system, guys. Seen this time and time again, the pre-8 minutes. And the crazy knock-on effect is we're now seeing Merc Houses get the second Javelin group out quicker than they used to. So once again, nerf to first point of momentum, which is around 6 minutes. Buff to second. Carmel gives you a marketplace in your base? Depends on the spawn. Tell Kilyardi about that, poor guy. Okay, so we said we didn't think that B was going to go all the way with the archers, and he really hasn't. He's scaled a decent amount, but he's more leaned horseman. It's a big investment so far. He's going to need a return on that investment soon. Because playing this static just doesn't feel good. Vortix will just beat you to castle at this pacing. And he'll do so very efficiently. Like, he doesn't need a gajillion Limitane. If he's defending his base, he needs a handful, mainly javelins. Does the DLC have a new campaign? It has historical battles, which we got the world record for first. Yeah, I need to improve on that timing. Yeah, it has 4 historical battles they added, which are somewhat replayable. They have quirky elements to discover. Overall, I think the historical battles are a nice addition. I only wish they had a bit more replayability beyond just going for the perfect time. Like, I hope they take historical battles a step further and start adding in things like mutator modes. Basically edging towards StarCraft co-op. That would be perfect. Yeah. My brief review in the middle of this game while we've got to come. Historical battles. Agincourt, really cool. Tauton, I think, is the weakest. Monkisar is probably the coolest. And then Safed, intriguing but limited replayability. The problem with historical battles is like 2 of them are really good for replayability and 2 of them are not. Because 2 of them have very easily achievable perfect scores. My feedback to the devs already was like, don't create perfect score situations. Have them all be time-based or resource-based. Because then you can always improve. Now, that review ended at a perfect time. We do have B just trying to approach the deer. He could secure the East pack. I don't know if Vortix wants to come this far out while he's decking. No, so he's going to back off. Okay, but B, not too far behind on his own tech timing, right? Like, he's going to build this up a lot quicker courtesy of Chinese build speed. So maybe like a 10-15 second advantage of Byzantines. Which is decent because they can supervise their techs. But with a slow-moving army, I don't think it's quick enough to do anything with. Oh, and also, like, another cool thing they could have done with Tauton. Tauton should have been a never-ending scenario. So Tauton should have been... There's a perfect score you can get. If you get that perfect score, it should have opened up a version where the Yorkers just keep sending waves after you until you die. That would have been the perfect way to round that one out. So you'd have Conk, and you'd have a next layer of Conk. KP got world record when no one else had access. I mean, just be better. Also, that's not true. Some people had access. Also, like, we clarified when we made that timing, we checked with Midland. He gave us, like, the skinny. Like, I think 12 was the best timing. We beat it. It was a 13. Anyway, we beat it. Sadly, I didn't record our 10.5-minute run. So, tech up complete. Vortix should be rushing relics at this stage. Yeah, there we go. Monk's starting to come out. Because right now, B's a little bit threatened. He needs to wait for the veteran C on Horseman. Vortix, can he actually send it to the enemy base is what I'm wondering here. The risk is if a handful of Palace Guard come out, you're kind of scrambled, but like your opponent, you don't know if he even has Raxes yet. It's just not worth the risk. You're up against ponies, so if you send this whole army in, then that many horsemen go in, you're probably losing 10 plus villages. The Monastic Shrines buff is glorious. It's a nice change. I think Mongols need something earlier in the game, and also they probably need a rethink of Karganet Palace. Because I think Karganet is too good. Like, Mongols currently is a little bit cheesy in the way they play the game. Like, arguably the Monastic change might have actually been a buff towards Fast Imp. Good mirroring, by the way. Vortix did have eyeballs on. Will use the Shroud to intercept. There's a fight brewing. And Vortix, he didn't bring the Javelins. No, he didn't expect the archers to be here. Sick grab. Okay, so B can just hunt him here. And he just has to take the losses. That is a beautiful read by B. And Vortix, this is where the Javelins were. He thought he was still dancing on the east side for the Pro Scouts. Nicely denied. And a pitch-perfect moment as well, as B was now gravitating towards those relics. We're about to sneak for the deeper. Horseman now diving in. Javelins have to come home. And this was Vortix's worst nightmare at this stage. Being stuck in his base while the relics were up for contest. He has at least got a second one coming home. The China, with the free relic advantage of 1, plus the fact they have map control to go sacred sites. Vortix does have his own upsides with assistant, of course. But he also might be paranoid that B's gone Barbican, as can often be the case at this stage, just for the song. Fast Imp's a meme strat, easily punishable. Have you watched high level like AoE force? You think it's an easily punchable strat. Not quite. Yeah, if you're like this type of person that says, oh, I can get Mongol Imperial Age in 13 minutes by building no units, then yeah, granted, you're memeing, you're going to die. But the high level, just adding in a few Magadai or some Keshiks, a little bit of raiding, you'd be surprised how often it's possible. That's enough one of the very few things about Mongols. Well, I just said let's buff them alongside that change. I said Kargant needs to be reworked. They need early game buffs. Kind of twisting my words a little there, mate. Like, I think Mongols should have options, but the option like that should be removed is the one that just feels ultra cheesy. Because like if the cheese doesn't feel well counted, that's when it becomes a problem. Is this another exchange from Vortix? It kind of feels like it. They try to press in. Springs have been prepped though, and that's going to be good at penetrating through the front line of Limitane. The Horsemen are waiting patiently for their turn, and it's going to be in the flood. So Horsemen around the back, Lancers to front line here. Jumps straight on the Javelins. Vortix. This is about to get ugly. Camel goes down. No debuff there anymore. Springs still adding a lot of damage in, so he's going to wail him from the backside. Like, economically, trade-wise, this is really good for B. The Javelins are worth a lot more than the Archers. A lot harder to replicate as well. And the Lancer flooded away. Oh my god. And you see how ugly it gets at the end of the fight. Cavalry able to chase him down and run him out of town. B, patience paying off here. Ponies coming in strong for the castle defense. Really cool game. And I feel like these have been cool games throughout the series so far. Back and forth between these two. That was sick timing. Castle Age ponies, folks. They sleep on them. He should have just popped that Springle straight away with the Javs. Yeah, they did have their ranged armor slightly nerfed, so maybe it would have been worth it. But it's easy to overlook like the impact of one Springle. But when, especially Limitane, I find Limitane suffer with this more. You'd think they suffer less because of the fact that they have got the range damage reduction, but the trade-off is obviously Limitane move really slowly. So technically, a Springel's going to get more shots of you in a line, because when you click them in at the start of the fight, the Limitane go like this, and then they go towards, right? And I think that's the problem. Compared to normal spears, it feels like the Springles get 1 to 2 extra shots out, and that's a lot of damage saturation. Oh, and there goes Spice for 5 minutes. Oopsie. Poor guy. I don't know what he done. Poor guy. I mean, clearly he's poor on points. He should have timed you out first. It's a preemptive thing. They can't time you out if they're timed out. Okay, so next up we go to Relic River. Oh, so this we decided on Dry River. So River Gaming. Interesting. And we are going to be having a Japanese versus Rus? Okay, I'm a bit shocked by the Rus pick here. I'm not crazy about it. It's a fishing map. Oh, sorry, no, no, ignore me, I'm an idiot. Yeah, Dry River, not now. Dry River last. Relic River now. Okay, yeah, Rus makes more sense then. Although there is fishing here, so like, can you stop Japan getting that? Oh, also I just realized the draft's the wrong way around. Sorry about that. Oops, there you go. Interesting. I don't know about Roost on this map. I'm curious as to what Vortix has in mind. He's got to be aware of the fishing. It's too probable. This matchup is awkward, though. I don't feel like historically in the last year I've seen Japan feel great in this matchup. I'm always reminded of maps like Transhumance where they should have been good and they just weren't. They just get wiped because they can't do anything to Roost's economy. But I think this map is a little bit different. All right, let's get ready to hop in the game, though. Vortix should have HRE. No, B does. So I already mentioned we had the draft the wrong way around. So he has... Oh, dude, he has HRE for last map? That's crazy. Yeah. Atri against Lancaster? I actually think Atri can crack Lancaster. Shushi might do better. Yeah, despite the OP crawls, the OP calls rather, I think Lancaster is... There's quite a few matchups where they can get roughed. It's happening again. One and all, welcome back to Grand Final Showdown, where we have indeed got B with his Dark Age Rax Rush opening. This is crazy. I think Japan might quickly become one of the best civs for Rax opening in Dark Age, and it isn't even for aggro, guys. It's for greed. This is solely to get the deer shove in. What a cool build. Interesting matchup as well. Vortix went for the Roost on Relic River, a map where you have all this fish on the south side. I wonder if he suspected there was going to be a dock drop. It's quite crafty, actually, by B not to go for that dock drop. Because one thought I'm having now is if you dock drop against Roost, they can just spam out scouts and kill you. So you lose the dock. Interesting little hunting cabin smuggled away there, by the way. So it's going to be the double HC openings we usually see. And this is important, by the way. I wonder if Vortix knows what's happening. This is getting suspicious now. Because he's walked out and he doesn't see a move for a dock, he's got to be questioning what his opponent's doing. And he's about to get the info. Okay, so... it's a cool idea, but the rats get seen. So Vortix should know the Spearman. If this villager comes out earlier, I don't think Vortix has a clue there's a deer shove. The weird part is that A, he hasn't gone to deal with it right now to stop it happening. But B... Yep, that's who I'm talking about. He's doing it with just one spear, which is quite tricky. Most people usually go 2. 3 is definitely preferable. It's working out beautifully. Gets him towards the hill. Dock to come up. And did we get predictions? I don't think we did. Let me fix that for you guys now. So game 6. 2 minutes. Begin. Definitely an interesting way to begin this. I think you need to. If you play this the more meta standard way, my feeling is that Roos actually just beat down Japanese. Because the horse archer spam is so quick. And there we go. He does see him. So we'll start to lane the deer just before they'd actually reach the TC. He's starting to threaten the scout. And, well, actually the scout's helping out. Okay, I think B actually done it. That was good enough. So the deer are in range of the TC now. 2 of them do get lamed, but this is still a lot of food safe. 1,750. Which is really important because usually the problem with these FC builds is if Roos went all in against you, you kind of feel pinned. Food-wise, not too bad elsewhere. 10 sheep to 10 sheep split. Mine camp now going to get added in, and we do have the fish on the way. So, does B set up an outpost out here? Because presumably the scouts are going to come over to burn you. And your tech time is now going to be weak because of the spearman into dock. What on earth? Oh, man. He thinks... Oh, this feels rough. He actually thinks it's the Spearman Rush. Because who builds a Rax just to shove deer? Like, this is the state of Age of Empires 4, man, I swear. At least when you're facing B. So this is a pretty wasteful investment. It's not just the wall itself, guys, which each slab takes 8 seconds, which is a lot of time. So he spent, like, what, it was 2 slabs, 16 seconds? But the walkout time and then back, that's like another, what, 20 seconds? So he spent almost, like, a minute. We're approaching a minute, I think, really. Not 20 seconds, probably higher. To do that. And also spent wood. To stop a play that technically should never really be happening with 1 spear. I don't want him getting my goodies. This also means we will not be spawning additional scouts out here. He'll only have the 1 hunting cabin for that. So if this was pro scouts, his ramp's pretty slow. I don't think this is PS, by the way. With 2 scouts, it would be pretty weak. So tech up complete. Moment of truth here. Archers? Or is this just like the rawest fast castle imaginable? Because that would be dangerous with just 10 sheep. Coca's already on the way. So yeah, Archers definitely feels like the right call. This is where Coca can feel a little bit weird. Because if your opponent goes Rax, you're already like being tempted to build Archers. And Coca just doubles you down on that. Oh, what? Wait, what's Core talking about? I only just saw him in chat. Probably some holier than thou told you so thing, I'm guessing. Oh, I just scrolled up. He didn't see the second hunter cabin. Ah, yes. The infinite battle between a repair hammer and... I don't even want to call what the scouts have a dagger. Okay, but that's like enough. There's no way you're going to kill the docking time with just 2 scouts. He is actually doing pro scouts. It's just very delayed. Yeah, I don't often see Roost do it this way. Normally, you just like to go 3 to 4 scouts in the first stage. Because that would have been good for the deer shoving. Like, with extra scouts, he could have got this home already. And he would have then been able to harass the dock. But, like, that doesn't feel like an option anymore. Spear's going to come over to make sure it isn't. So Archer's being prepped. B, do you feel good about the Shinobi now? I'd be surprised if he scales more of them. In theory, Shinobi aren't too bad with Spearmen if you're up against Knights. Because it's basically, you've got your Bracer that stops the unit attacking, and then your DPSer, which is Shinobi. Because although you've got like lots of damage on Spearmen, their attack speed is a lot worse. So normally, like in a fight, where Spearmen get 1 attack off before Knights run away, Shinobi at 2. And also Shinobi are like very good pro scout deniers. I guess you go Horseman here. Yeah, there we go. Stable's coming in. And B definitely has the economy to justify that. I mean, this one Spear is actually getting a lot of value. Yeah. Forces the duck and run off of 2. Single Archer, not going to feel great against the Ninja. I wonder, does he go for the body blocks with like the Scout maybe? Nah, I'm not going to be able to. In fact, he's going to have to run away. Chin is coming for cooldown, but second Archer arrives, so B backing away, but pushing him like this means there's no vision on what he's doing, and also still contested deer. Oh, what, Riot's new like fighting game? I can't remember if they released it now. I think they announced the date at least, didn't they? I still don't understand the name. 2x KO. I guess it's like 2 times KO, but I'm not sure how memorable it is for people. I'm very intrigued by their MMO that they're meant to be building, though. Nice, Shunshin in. Good to know. Yeah, I figured that it was because of 2 times KO. It's just like, I don't know how many people remember it's 2x KO. Right, RTS when? I think you should be asking Valve for one. Have you not seen, like, in the Dota 2 engine, someone built an RTS? Which is very full circle. AoE MMO? I'd rather not. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a good RTS MMO. And, like, all of them always feel gimmicky. They're basically, you know those browser games where people are just building their city up? And then, like, AFK screening another city? It always turns into that. There was one a few years back that had, like, a siege element that in theory looked cool. But it just didn't pan out. And yeah, Japan's going to be getting castle behind this, by the way. He just built enough to try and idle pro scouts. He had middling results. For a moment, I actually got fooled. I was like, why are there villagers out here? So he's going to intercept on the additional. We'll probably be able to deny 1 or 2 of the pro scouts. There isn't a quick reaction. We do have high trade house coming in. This is a very stacked tree line. Float and gate on the other side. Get your numbers in, folks. Oh, Horseman actually scares him home earlier. Yeah, Shinobi didn't get the reveal. I mean, it's kind of hard to get a reveal against scouts. You get seen early. 3 Horsemen, a big nuisance, though. He's trying to force Vortix to add in more units, but good temperament out of the Spaniard here. He's not even reacting. Okay, guys, you know what like might be secretly the best MMO RTS? Planet Side 2. They have building base components there. Yeah, like you can actually like build up bases in that game now. I haven't played it in a long time. Used to be pretty cool. StarCraft MMO, I honestly think a StarCraft MMO would be okay, but not crazy. I don't think the lore is as diverse as what Warcraft offered, if that makes sense. In what you could put there. Yeah, StarCraft FPS would be a lot cooler. So Horse Archer's on the way. B. So I've seen this match out quite a bit in the past, and like Mounted Samurai just feel that they get blasted away by horse archers. You can't really own a Musha, they're just worse than horse archers. Horseman is usually the way to go. B should have enough food to enable that to a certain degree. A little bit of trade out here, doesn't look very good for Team Green. 2 archers killed, loses Scout, 2 Shinobi. We'll be able to clean up the rest of the archers by the looks of it. Okay, yeah, a little bit slower on the reaction of getting the horse archers over, but these guys will eventually clean up. B has no interest in defending this. Yeah, I think Yuumi buff has maybe changed things here, guys. Yuumi costs 10% less now. Oh, natural selection was interesting, but I think natural selection suffered from the to-be-expected elitism of certain RTS crowd members. Because technically you had a lot of people who didn't really understand RTSs playing that game as well. It's like, it reminds me of games like Squads. Like, Squads is truly ruined by the elitist, and I'm just going to give it, like, a new word, prickism of the community. Like, I remember when I tried playing Squads, and because I didn't know all the intricate details, when a guy, I distinctly recall a guy going, "Oh, you're a new guy," and then he just turned around and shot me in the face. I think natural selection was killed by hardcore community members. Similar to games like Foxhole. You'd be surprised just how much an overly zealous hardcore community can kill a game. As quickly as these Mounted Samurai can kill these villagers. Nicely done. 2 kills. Gonna actually hang around for the 3rd one. He's not leaving. He's turned it into a bloodbath on that tree line. Kind of makes it worth it as well because of what's happening elsewhere. If his opponent's pinned in the base, he can pick up the relics. Is this too early with the Yuumi? Maybe not. Is he ignoring the Mounted Samurai? Like, it kind of feels like he's doing plasticky damage right now. And +1 damage reduction helping. However, the horse archer numbers are kind of getting out of control. It's up to 13 already. 8 Yumi's not really going to contest that. And this is the trade-off of dropping the Urashura in the floating gate. In the stables, in the floating gate. Even double archer range just doesn't feel great. Probably could afford to go for free right now. And Uma Bannerman, do you really want that over Yuumi? Yes, for now. Once you have about 12 to 15 Yuumi, that's when the Yuumi Bannerman becomes more desirable. Because at that stage, you're mainly just building Mounted Samurai to tank. Damn. Tank and everything. Vortix is so threatened, he's keeping the Warrior Monks here. He's losing out on relics in a really big way. It's already 3 relics home for B. Yeah, if he doesn't dive soon, this is over. Like, scale point is not desirable for him. High trade house in the end, by the way, is 147. So core close was 149. Easiest ones first? No, I'd say he took the hardest relics first. The central ramp was contested. These are the easier ones because no one's there. The fact that even the Warrior Monks have to be here says everything about Vortix's state right now. He's not comfortable. And remember, these Yuumi, they've been looking like trash because they have been. They only now have veterancy coming through. B's, like, we talked about him being a master of Ottomans, but he really has proven himself to be a master of Japanese. You go back to the start of the year, this Civ was synonymous with B. It was his most desired pick. No one picked and won as consistently with this Civ as B did. And Vortix seems to be learning that the hard way. Sacred Sites as well. I think that was just... Okay, yeah. Vortix is pretty much in a... Well, crap. I've got nothing here, so I might as well take what little I can. Oh, God. I mean, it's 22 horse archers. The big problem here is, like, the walls are already up. Your opponent's playing condensed economy still. So, for Vortix, he needs a point in the game where B is not in the base. Because horse archers are raiders. The problem is, it's taking too long. And you're reaching a point where B is going to force a direct engagement. Going for it now. Line formation so the Mounted Samurai can get closer quicker. It's not the critical mass to one-hit kill either. I mean, this is pretty brutish of B right now. Yuumi count isn't crazy. good enough that it's got Vortix worried. And we do have a Horseman switch. This could be Vortix springing to life. Deer is looking good on the back. Should have enough to get this going. Question is whether there's going to be enough Mount Samurai to repel it. Horseman. Oh, this is early. This is like really, really early for the Horseman. Yumi are reaching that point where they can one-hit the ponies. Mount Samurai, just enough for them to hold this down. Warrior Monk also hits the floor before giving the buff over. Extra Mount Samurai held in reserve, and then Yumi, they just dive for the Horse Archers. B has got him in a chokehold right now. And the Horsemen just get ignored. This doesn't feel like enough. All Horse Archers removed from the field. And Vortix has been removed forcibly from this Grand Finals. B will be your champion once again. And that, folks, means that he is now the most decorated champion of the midweek muster. His 6th win ever in the circuit, trouncing the previous records set by Puppy Paw, who was drawing him at 5. What do you guys think of B, man? This guy is looking scary. It's to be expected to a certain degree. It feels like any time a big change happens with a game, he's there first, ahead of the competition, sensing it out. But what do you think, guys? Will he be able to keep up the momentum? Will he be able to remain strong in the coming weeks? Or do you think it's inevitable that we return to the Marine Lord Beast, etc. dominances? I gotta say, the B I'm seeing right now is looking like some of the best we've ever seen. And well played to him on another incredible victory. I'll catch you all in the next chapter. Isn't it BO7? Yep. And that was his 4th point. Why are you trying to bait me? Brother. What was that bait? You had me wondering if I was like, wait, did I just miscall it? Was that not it? Yeah. Well played to him. Bloody good showing. Did Bruno get eliminated? No, he hasn't been playing. The coward milked us for his elo and then didn't come back. He played 2 weeks, increased his tournament elo lead. In fact, I can show you right here. Boink. Boink. Yeah, so basically he won 2 midweek musters, built an extra 100 elo lead over Beastie, and was like, I'm done. And then just like he basically done it to protect his #1 spot. Interviews? We don't do interviews on these weeklies. It's something we might be able to do like in the future when we expand. But like that's what I said. Like, you know, if midweek muster continues to track in a like positive direction and we see more and more people tune in and we build towards like 1,000+ people, then I can start getting sponsors and we can do things like interviews, maybe even have like co-casters, etc. So that's my dream, is to try and like expand it. Do you think people sandbagging KPMM to save strats for S tiers? I did wonder about it with the semifinals this week a little bit, but in terms of games, I think there was an element of like just trying to be creatively different, not as much sandbagging. But like there's probably elements that are being held back inherently in these type of things. It's just unavoidable unless you can keep scaling, which is once again like why it's so important you guys turn up every single day for the midweek musters. I love that you guys, a lot of you are starting to prioritize this as your content consumption, because it allows us to keep growing to the point where we can go get more money from Microsoft and make this a big enough amount that players don't go, oh, I need to worry about the EGC strategies, because the money on offer is good enough. So obviously for now it's more humbled, it's $300 a week, but my hopes is with midweek muster or something similar to evolve it, we can go bigger and better for the next financial year. Because we have got coverage until June, and then we'll see what the future holds. But also, I'm always open to hearing from community members who want to help fund things. I know I've been asked about before, but like if you guys do have someone you want funded, reach out. I've like got quite a lot of tournament organizing experience at this point, I guess you could say. Just 21 weeks worth. But also like I've done things in other games as well, so we can get creative. Definitely want to be able to do more. I've also already worked out a sponsorship for some show matches to happen on Fridays, because I think the round of 32s, it's not everyone's like bread and butter to go to, because people want to see Lucifer on Louis and all that stuff all the time, but it can't happen all the time. So probably not tomorrow because it's too short notice, and I know there's something else happening, a team tournament thing, which would overlap with some players I want to use. But next week we'll aim to have a show match featuring some of the top players. And we might try to get creative with the format a little. Any interest in doing a champion series at the end of the 30 weeks, like a Swiss format Crown of Champ? Would be cool to have. Is someone I want to have. One of the problems is, in terms of availability, I believe towards the end of our circuit around June, there's obviously that LAN that's going to be happening in July, and EGC's got a tournament that I think ends mid-June. So the issue I ran into is availability slot. Is like, I would want to do something that was probably 2 to 3 weeks long, and I think there was only space for like 1 week worth, which is problematic. So like, unless I had big influxes of cash from like community funding, it doesn't make sense. So like, I'd like to, but I'm definitely not going to do it unless there's community funding there, because I'm not going to reach into my own pocket and spend, 1.5k, 2k on a week-long event. It just, like, it financially doesn't make sense. Like, I've been pretty transparent on this, and our current size, unless we have sponsors involved or whatever, if we're talking, like, raw spend burn per month, I'm probably making about... I want to say around 1,000 or 1,100 pounds after expenditures of like admining and like my thumbnail editor. So like, I'm really not in a position to say let's blast 2k on a week-long event. Midweek Musters really wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for World's Edge, to be honest with you. Yeah, hopefully that provides some insights. Like, I definitely want to be able to do more, but the thing we said when we started Midweek Muster, and I stand by it, is like, I'm not gonna throw money into a black hole, which is usually what esports can be. It needs to scale and be logical. So yeah, like, getting there though, as I said, big things to help. Make sure when you see like Reddit threads, upvote them. Make sure you're telling other people, all the other Discords and whatnot, where they can find these. Obviously tuning in, because we are live Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And yeah, that continued support goes a long way. And I appreciate everyone who has been coming. Why not have Beastie help pay? What would it be his incentive to help pay for my tournaments? Doesn't make sense. Unless you meant something else. It just doesn't make sense, right? Hope they keep investing in KPMM. I hope so too. I think it's like one of the best things that's happened for the scene. And I want to do other things with it. So like leagues is something I want to explore. One-off tournaments would be really cool. Get Crackety to help? True. Crackety should fund everything. Guy did not even buy me a beer in Germany. It's just rude. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, and like I said, my dream is we scale this to a point where we can do more of these for AoE 4, and then also just sprinkle in some small tournaments and other new games as well. I'd love to, like, dude, imagine if you were at a point where you could organize some crazy, stupid challenge for Elder Scrolls Oblivion launch. Like speed run to the end of the game, whatever. That would have been cool as a one-off. Like, actually, I've been thinking about it, and what I really want to do, I just don't think it's going to be possible this year, because I don't think we're big enough. But if the growth continues, next financial year, so like this time next year, I'd love to be able to go to Nilly and the Microsoft team and pitch a creative tournament akin to what Grubby's doing with Warcraft. Literally get newbies, RTSs in, get your Shrouds, Lyrics, or whoever else, right? Get them in and have them trained by a coach. Because like there's multiple layers to the cake where it's useful. So you'd have, for example, the players would be streaming the game, which is already a big win for AoE4. You'd have them integrate with their coaches, which then introduces outsiders to personalities within AoE4. And then, of course, you have the tournaments themselves. So, like, there's a lot of value to it. But, like, that, and that's some, like I said, those are the type of things I want to do in general. I want to be able to get to a point where we're doing all kinds of cool, different tournaments. I think the world rewards those that take action. I mean, sure, but, like, you need to scale to that point. Like, I'll probably put in a proposal for it, but there's probably no way I'm going to get that funding for... How long was Grubby's? Grubby's was like, was it 2 to 3 weeks? They had to prep. It's going to be challenging to get a 10k budget for that. It might even need to be more, I don't know. Yeah. But guys, I think we have got the bracket being locked in as we speak for next week. I don't know if it actually has been fully yet. But let's have a look at the players coming in for the next midweek muster. Lyric and AoE for Noob Tourney? Sure, and that's the thing. You can do one that's like targeted at like players that do not have strategy game experience at high level. And then you can do one where you bring in people like Tommy K, Flurry Worry. You bring in... Maybe like you bring in some of the freaking Warcraft gods. You bring maybe some of the AoE2 players that didn't really experiment with AoE4 properly. You bring in like Red Alert 2 pros and stuff like that. Okay, so we actually have an overflow of people attending this week, so some of these people will not make it in. If you're low ranking, apologies, do keep signing up, but we only have 32 people attending each week. So yeah, like likely ones we should be seeing: Ezra, Jean Doe, Rivtal, Hanadins, B, Vortix, Anatan, Dumu, Louis MT, Gilyardi, GIF Music, CSO, MSN, Voldemar, Scatterbrain, Myriad, Eliona, 194 The Great Unicorn, Starflark, Give You Anxiety is back, Core has returned, Pog, Red Darksider, Lash, Lemonos, Zvezdos. We've got Paper Cut coming in as well. Hunter, Sass, Hung ADC, Hussein, Mio, Micah, Deniski, and Avali. Avali back as well, Big Pog. Yo, what is up, White Walker? Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the sub and welcome to Swarm. Thank you, thank you. GA the go. Just can't keep him down, man. You surprised I know Flurry? Yeah, like there's a lot of things I watch. I mean, I can kind of prove my point just by doing this. One sec. If we go to my profile on Steam and look at most played games. Yo, what is up? Anon Gifter. Thank you very much for the 5 gifteds. Whoever you are, thank you very much. Appreciate you, mate. Tip of the hat. What a legend. Thank you. Appreciate that support, man. Yo, Melkor as well with a sub. Legend. Yo, those subs. Okay, and those ones when you sub directly yourself, you've just put us closer to the plus goal as well. I think we're up to 91 out of 100. So we're almost there. It's a reminder, like, when you sub yourself, directly yourself, it counts towards that. Did for YouTube chat falls in the woods and no streamer sees it? Did it really happen? I see all. Semi-final Vortix Anatan now? No, we just didn't cover that one because we had limited time. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I was going to show you, yeah, if you have a look at my profile, like, my most played games, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that I'm familiar with Flurry, because there you go. Europa is one of my most played. Honestly, if Apex counted my EA hours, it would probably be very close to AoE4 now that I think about it. But yeah, Wallpaper Engine has had a hard carry, baby. But yeah, Hearts of Iron up there as well. So yeah, definitely familiar with them. But yeah, there's other games that come to mind. So, you know, another one that I'd have in there to try and do like an AoE4 tournament for people that are high level in different strategy games. I bring in like Lexiav probably from Here's My Magic, be another that comes to mind. I'd try and get someone like Dendy to come play from Dota 2. I think that'd be incredible. But yeah, there's loads that come to mind. But I might have to put that together, see if we can make it happen. 808 hours, you're still a noob? But I've watched a lot of content. It would be a lot higher if I allowed myself to indulge, but Europa Universalis is a very dangerous game. It's a black hole where you sink time. Casually has £600 in his Steam account? Yeah, but like, it's not exactly real money, you know what I mean? Like, I can only spend it on Steam games. So let's not act like I'm rich. That's just because I had a treasure from the International that sold for like £400 or £500. Holmes, your most played game? I've been playing a lot of Horn of the Abyss recently, which is the Heroes of My Magic competitive form. Just got off, we done with games? Yes. So we're just chatting for a little bit before we round out, because that is it. We haven't got anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should start doing like more content after these finals, but it's kind of weird. You feel like you do the finals like, all right, that's it. Makes sense. Yeah. That, and I probably want to play some games in the background, like Claire Obscura. I don't think people want to watch me play that. I need to play a bit Claire Obscura. I'm tempted to get Elder Scrolls as well. I've been playing through Tempest Rising. Honestly, it's an okay game. If you want an RTS to itch at, like, for a bit, it'll be okay. I don't think Tempest Rising will remain something that people remember. It's embodying Command and Conquer's like mechanical elements, but it doesn't have the spirit. And that's no offense to devs. I think that's hard to replicate. But guys, I think we'll get ready to find someone to raid. Who we got online? Oh, Thunderfolk did do a bunch of sponsor streams in the end. XD. I offered them a whole roster and they went dark. You think of changing the schedule from Monday to Thursday for KPMM? In what way? What way would we change it? Because we already do Monday, Tuesday. We only have Wednesday off. I just need like players to be more thoughtful of the Wednesday. I didn't like that this week we had both semis play on the Wednesday because obviously I can't stream them. But like I said, it's like I don't feel good about requiring one semifinals to play on Thursday because that puts someone at a competitive disadvantage potentially. So it's a hard bind to solve for with the current format. It's like one thought I had is that we could change the format to be. Do we paintify this? I guess we could paintify this. So one thought I had is like we could change the format to be that you'd have, you know, your bracket and you play through. God, lines has actually made this more confusing. So you basically do upper bracket and then you'd send 2 down. But then obviously that gives you 2 extra rounds you'd have to have. Like currently we have like, you know, round of 32, round of 16, round of 8, round of 4, and then round of 2. So 5 rounds. But like with this format, you'd have to have 7 rounds, right? You'd have like the upper, then you'd have the finals of the upper, and then you'd have the lower finals, and then you'd have the actual finals. But like that would allow us to have a system where we basically say you'd have the lower bracket and the grand finals on Thursday. But then that like I don't want to my current scheduling, unless someone changes, Wednesday is just meant to be my day off, right? But like if we done this change, like logically Wednesday would have to be this and maybe this, which doesn't make sense. And then you'd be like looking at what Tuesday for these, and then everything like, you know, this and the other round that comes before it would happen between Friday and Sunday. So I don't know, it's tricky with open scheduling formats. The more you add in, the more messy it gets. The more ideal situation is we're able to pad the days all around by having like these different elements. So for example, having show matches like we're going to be having for a few Fridays that I'm working on. And having funding for those type of things. The alternative is if I get a bit of extra funding, I could just punt an extra little tiny bit of money into a third place match. The third place matches are awkward to schedule because obviously now you're talking about a situation where last second you have to have people now be available for another game that they weren't planning around originally, if that makes sense. Double Elim's boring? I don't know if that's entirely true. You can get different matchups. Sometimes it can get weird. Like on this format, it could get weird because you could just get repeats. But there's loads of good situations for it. Like ideally, what I'd like to do in the future is it's kind of a league format where you just have constant bangers happening all the time around a month. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that's possible. Oof. Did I say thank you to Melkor? I think I did. If I didn't, thank you, Melkor. Appreciate the sub. I think I did. So I was going to take the headset off so I can't hear it there. No. Nice! Looks like our winner finally received their Shure microphone. It took a little while, but glad it got to them in the end. Fantastic. Okay. So, let me check YouTube again. Any extra comments? Love the stream as always. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Sing. Glad you enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, you know, if we keep scaling and we come back again, I might explore having winner reviews, or at least, like, I'd like to get to a point where we're going to have, like, a co-caster would be really cool. But yeah, that just comes with scale, because if we scale, we can afford it. But that's why, for transparency, that's why I don't have like people necessarily joining me casting. You could say some people do it for free, but like it's a case of do I want to make them do it for free? You know what I mean? I'd like to be able to give them something. Ranked is already kind of a league, no, not really. You're not playing a person only a set number of times. You aren't using a competitive draft. It's very different. There's someone I had in mind with that. If I have some I had some reach out to me before. If I have like 1 or 2 programmers that is interested in a side project that I think would help the scene a lot. I mean, I don't know if I'd have a budget, but before I had people volunteer their time without sound like they wanted a budget. There is something I'm cooking on that I'd like to do that I think would actually be a huge improvement towards and actually evolution of what Midweek Mustard does. Got some on my shirt. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, peacocks. No, it's not pigeons though. You know, I'm just trying to disguise myself as like the pheasants, so they don't know that I'm an elite pigeon. I want them to think I'm a peasant. All right, but I think that answers all queries. I guess we'll get ready to call it. Yeah. Tomorrow, like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to do show match tomorrow, but we will look to go live at around 2 to 3 p.m. What we might look to do, maybe community games if it's possible. We'll be doing a bunch of the KPMMs. So definitely by 3 p.m. we should be live. Sometimes if I look at 2 p.m. and there's no games available, I'll wait until 3 p.m. But usually by 2 p.m. there's usually at least 1 or 2 series that are playing or have been played for us to cast. And then if we go for a longer stream, we might eventually like hop on to either Claire Obscura, which is the new RPG, or maybe some Elder Scrolls. We'll see how it goes. But my goal is for next Friday to have 1 to 2 show matches happening, which I'm hoping to organize the details around this weekend so that I can announce them. Because I could have maybe got them together last second, but it feels much better to give it a bit of breathing room and advertising around it. But YouTube, gonna love you and leave you. Thank you very much, everyone's been supporting there. Appreciate it as always. Make sure to check out the videos that are getting posted. We've got 2 going live each day on YouTube. Recommend the Twitch viewers to go across there as well. Find a bunch of games from recently, as well as like, you know, a week or 2 ago, because we layer the cake.